Okay, so welcome to session 2 of the Curse of Fey. So last time, you all found yourselves in the town of Daggerford in some shape or form, whether it be travelling there for a particular reason, whether it was just happenstance that you came to be there, or whether you've been living there for multiple years. You all found yourself on this current morning exposed to a very elaborate carnival that happens to have been erected outside the town of Daggerford at the behest of Duchess Morwen. And this is to celebrate something called the Faering Festival, which you have had slight information about. Essentially, she told you that it was to celebrate the ill-fated love between a Fey and a mortal, and it basically signifies every year, a bit like Valentine's Day, love. And although this ill-fated love was not meant to be, or was not allowed to be, it sort of inspires other people to realize that love can transcend time and planes and things like that, and that it should never be forgotten or ignored. And most of the time in the years that have gone in the past, this has become a sort of a celebration between families, lovers, and things like that. On a small scale, generally, people sometimes give each other gifts. But one thing that the children look forward to is that they run off into the fields around Daggerford looking for fairy rings or mushroom rings. And the superstition is that if you are able to use your stick and ring the bells on it and call forth a Fey spirit, they will reveal the location to the portal. And it is said that the spirits of these ill-fated lovers will be able to reunite again. However, in the 800 years there has been, this has not once happened yet. So the hope is that eventually one day it will, and that these lovers can be reunited. But because it is 800 years since the originating of this festival, this year Duchess Morwen has enlisted the help of this traveling carnival, to kind of booster the town and to get the festival, sort of for visitors and for other people who are visiting the town maybe for the first time, or who come regularly, to just make it a little bit more special this year as a centenary. So in the morning you found yourselves, not being called to, but sort of finding your way to the outskirts of Daggerford, seeing that most of the people who currently live in Daggerford were already outside and awaiting for this celebration to begin. And through one means or another, you made your way out there. You were invited into the carnival, and you began to have a little look around. Currently, we've got several of you who are together in groups. Some of you who obviously know each other previously, and some of you who have met on your travel here. I think only one of the party is still sort of on their own. But you've began to enjoy some of the festivities that are here. And at the moment, some of you have taken a ride on a bubble ride and been able to float around the carnival, having a little look from an aerial view. Others of you have partaken on some of the shops that are around, maybe bought something to eat or drink. And at the end of our session last time, 3 of you were attempting to best each other on the Beetle Bop, which is this sort of reversed bumper car where you're trying to avoid hitting each other. For when these creatures hit each other on the head 3 times, it kind of causes them to be dazed and fall over, and that means you're out of the game. And our winner was Amros. And so you claimed the winning prize, which in this case happened to be a little sachet of pixie dust, which will give you the ability, or whoever you sprinkle it on, you have the ability to fly and hover for about a minute. There was a little bit of interaction between some of you, but most of you are kind of keeping to your own groups at the moment. But perhaps as you continue to enjoy the frivolity of the carnival, you will kind of get to know each other a bit better. One thing, though, however, I forgot to do last time, was those of you who had met each other, or those of you who had seen each other, perhaps Bula in the and Kane in the tavern. You will have seen Moira and Tisfan. I didn't actually get you to describe what your characters look like, so perhaps we'll. The only person we probably won't need to go over that with for the moment is Galatea, because nobody else has actually bumped into you, I don't believe, at the moment. So I will ask each of you in turn if you can just kind of give us a rundown of what your character looks like, just for those of you who have bumped into each other. So let's start with Bula. What do the characters see when they see you?
So Bula, she is a tall, roughly 6'1", 6'2" half orc. She's kind of a pale green, very muscular, and she has kind of a half-shaven head with the other half tied up in a series of braids and loose. She has several scars, 2 on her chest, 1 on her right arm, and 1 on her face. And I think that's about it.
Okay, great. And Kane, if you'd like to describe yourself as well, please.
It's mostly what you see is what you get with Kane's profile picture. Maybe a couple of the finer details would be that you guys can definitely tell, even through the armor and the sort of religious robes that he wears, that there's definitely some serious strength going on underneath. He looks like he works out, and you might notice that often, even when he's seemingly quite happy, he kind of has this sort of neutral, maybe slight scowl to his face. Looks like he could definitely get a bit more sleep, at least recently. He's got his short black hair, sort of fairly trim, tidy goatee going on, and it looks like he's used to wearing armor. It seems like something that doesn't really come off most of the time unless he's going to sleep. But that's about it for him. He's a pretty normal, plain-looking guy for the most part. No scars or any particularly identifying marks yet.
And you're human, yeah?
Yeah, no, to be fair, that was probably a good thing to mention. Yeah.
Just in case anyone...
Kane is indeed a human, yes.
Okay, Amoros, what do you look like?
Amoros is also very close to his profile pic, except for that he has more of a darker blue to his tiefling skin. But I would kind of describe him as a younger version of a silver fox, if people know that term. Kind of charismatic and kind of tries to look as good as he can. Wearing a kind of icy blue leather outfit that he wears in... I don't really know how to describe him. That's more than that, to be honest.
That's fine. People will have just had a sort of a small glimpse at you at the moment anyway, so you can go into more detail later if you need to of anything that you feel like is important. But that's good. No, thank you very much. Tisfan.
Well, they would see a very tall for his species. He's a Shadar-kai, about 6'2", 6'3", broad-shouldered, very, very pale, almost sickly. Bald, completely bald-shaved head, and dark green eyes.
Okay, great. And Moira. Moira, are you there?
Sorry, forgot push up. Moira is a mouse. He's a mouseling. Not really looking like in the picture because internet and my brain do not agree. But you know, it's fine. Her fur is gray, which fades to white when you get to like the tip of the tail, tip of the ear, paws. But other than that, mostly gray. She has the green cloak, blue dress. She has a scale mail armor on top of the dress. It covers most of her torso with the dress, like the bottom of the dress peeking through, like peeking from under the armor. And on her back, you know, along with her backpacks and things, she has a book, which is kind of in the line of, is it too big of a book for a mouse or is it not? You know, And the glasses are not on all the time, but sometimes she might forget to take the glasses off. But sometimes, mainly when she's with her book, the glasses are on.
Okay, great. And so yeah, in Galatea, when you've bumped into somebody else, we'll go through your description as well. I don't think you ran into anyone currently as we go. But yeah, great. So you have just those of you who were taking part in the Beetle Drive. I think you had a brief sort of like conversation, sort of a hello, when you were finishing up after the win. And Moira and Tisman, you were both watching. Tisman, you were talking to someone that you know who was hanging around this area at the time of the Beetle race as well. And Galatea, you were sitting atop a stand to the north of the carnival, where there was some sort of like a racing ring that appears that there'll be some sort of show there, perhaps a little bit later on. So I will just sort of say that at the carnival here, from those of you who have sort of travelled in the balloons and those that you have been sort of wandering around, you'll notice that there are quite a lot of different attractions here that can be partaken in. You all have a ticket that allows you to have 6 rides for the price of the ticket that you purchased. And those of you who have been on a ride or two, you'll have had a punch. I think only Amoros, you're the only one who's had like 2 punches so far. Everyone else, apart from Galatea, has had 1, I think.
So yeah.
So, other than the rides that you have been on so far, you will have noticed. I think Bula and Kane, as you were walking through, you'll have noticed there was everyone's seen the big main tent in the center of the carnival. You two will have seen possibly a stage that was set up just in front of the main tent, a carousel and various sort of tents with food sellers and people selling sort of toys and bits and pieces that offer per purchase at the carnival as well. Those of you, Amoros, Moira, and Tisman, when you were floating high above in the bubbles, you will have seen those things. You'll also have seen that there was a large tent, not quite as large as the main tent in the center, but another large tent that seemed to have lots of noises and interesting things going on over to the right of the carnival. There was another stage set up there as well, with many chairs. It looked like there was some sort of audience gathering there. And then a little bit set further back, I think, Galatea, you're probably the only person who has actually been to where you are at the moment. There is sort of a racetrack at the back of the carnival as well. But all these things, as well as others, are all around for you to enjoy for the day and to explore. So, those of you that are here and wanting to explore, man, who would like to go next and what would you like to do?
I guess us then.
Yeah, just jump in. Whoever would like to do something, you let me know what you want to do next. You and Bula have currently just finished off the bug ride, and I think you briefly had a conversation with Amaros, who said they wanted going to get back to their party of friends that they were traveling with.
I think that Bula was pretty interested in the snails, so I think we'd be making our way to those.
Okay, yeah. So you probably would have seen either signs or perhaps other people sort of mentioning it as you were going around. But there is, at the back of the event hall, there is a snail race of some kind at the back of the carnival, and you know that to be sort of north of where you currently are.
I guess we would wave off Amaros and start heading that way ourselves.
Okie dokie. And Amaros, are you returning to your friends?
Yes. And if I notice that others are traveling the same way, I do offer them a smile as we walk past each other. And as I get to Mora and Tisvan, I go, that was actually a lot of fun. Can recommend.
Well done, my friend.
What was it like riding on the beetle?
To be honest, I felt like a child. I enjoyed it. But I could use a better seat because the bumps get hard on your butt. Just gonna put that out there. But other than that, definitely can recommend.
Oh, maybe Tisran and I can ride later today.
Maybe. We'll have to see what happens to what we do, basically.
I'm just gonna sit and quietly watch them all. I'm assuming I can hear most of this from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, so you're sitting sort of on one of the bleachers, basically, that are surrounding this racetrack. But as nothing's happening there, you may have been looking out from your sort of slightly elevated position, looking across. And, I mean, obviously on the map, you can't see, like, the crowds of people, but there are loads of good people, children, families, all sort of enjoying all these different events. As soon as the Beetle Drive, Beetle Bop was refreshed again, there were more children ready to jump on into the positions and replace Amaros and the others going on there. So there's lots of sort of noise and running around and children, stuff like that. So you probably can't overhear what anyone is saying from the distance that you're at the moment. But you can definitely sort of see people in the crowds moving around. Yeah,
I'm just gonna sit there like, the way you sat when you were a teenager. Never normally, just legs tucked up in some awkward way.
And remind me, did you buy something from the stall vendor?
I did. I had one of those popping candy kind of.
That's right. I remember now. Yeah. So you met Mortimer, didn't you, the shopkeeper? And he sold you some pixie tarts, which were essentially popping candy in a little cup sort of thing. So probably mixed in there with a little bit of like cakey stuff as well. But yeah, it's essentially popping candy in there.
I think I had some sort of honey drink as well.
Yes, a warm honey tea.
Yeah.
That's right. And that came in like a wooden teacup that had a large sort of flower head that was sort of stuck on the top just to keep the heat in. So yeah, you have that. So you've probably been sitting there enjoying those things and looking out.
Good. Seems as we're passing by them. Could I possibly make a perception check on Galati or some other kind of check? Kane is being very vigilant when it comes to people at this fair.
You can give me a perception check to see if you can see them. The way that this is tiered at the moment, they would be sitting on them, and so the lower edge would be away from you currently, facing towards the racetrack. So they will be sitting, so the benches will be kind of in the way. But you can give me a perception check if you want to see if you're looking out for different people, people who aren't usually making up the majority of the normal townsfolk, if you like.
Yeah. Most of these people I'd normally see on
Hmm.
my daytime going through Daggerford.
Yeah, you might catch a glimpse maybe if you're heading that direction.
I'm sitting way up on the back bit.
Right. Okay. So you're high up, so it's likely someone could see you. Yeah, with a 15, I'll say you can see a figure sitting with sort of looking over the top, not looking towards the racetrack as other people might be doing, but sort of like peering over, looking down at the area towards the beetle drive where you were. And do you want to describe kind of what you look like, what they would see from you sitting there?
Oh, yeah. So Felty is really quite androgynous. It's impossible to tell at that distance definitely what gender they might be. They've got a long, soft, green tinted green cloak and brown hair, sort of tied up in a bun. Very, very pale human with freckles. Yeah.
Great. So you two, Bula and Kane, you're heading towards the snail racing at the moment. Which, if you ask anyone who you can see where the bleachers are, you'll see the entrance is sort of round and to the right of where you currently are. Galatea, you're just going to be sitting and enjoying your tea and popping candy at the moment.
Yeah. Did I notice him? Spot me.
Yeah, you're looking that direction. I'll say you can have a perception check to see if you notice somebody looking towards you. Yeah.
Cool. First roll. It doesn't say in checks.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm just rolling.
Okay. Oh.
Nope.
In that one. Yeah, you're looking out. There's a lots of people looking around. You might notice, Bula and Kane going by, but you don't specifically see them looking at you or anything. As I say, there's a lot of people moving backwards and forwards, children running around. So spotting somebody looking back in your particular direction will be pretty difficult to sort of notice. But yeah, you don't see anyone staring at you or anything.
I'll just be a little bit tense and anxious and sitting there hugging my tea.
That's fine. Yeah, you're probably like overwhelmed at this point with just how many people there are running around and doing things. You're obviously used to things being a little bit calmer, or at least being able to sort of move away from groups when you need to. And this feels like you're probably like surrounded constantly. So you probably revert back to here to sort of like there's a high position where I can see people coming, so feel slightly safer here. But that tea's probably helping you feel a bit calmer anyway. So Bula and Kane, as you move around, you find the entrance to what has been called the racetrack of the snail race. And as you enter that area, you will see that there are crowds of people sort of coming in. It appears that there is going to be some sort of race starting soon. You can see there are people over in the pen with these sort of snails that you can see just in the distance. And they seem to be sort of getting them ready, and people are just sort of taking their seats currently. And Pisvin, Amoros, and Moira, what are you three doing? What are you up to at this point?
What's next?
Good question.
I picked this one, so I was gonna leave that one up to you two.
Should we check out the big tent in the middle there?
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, let's head on over.
Cool. So you're heading back towards the big tent there. As you heading that way, you'll see lots of people actually coming. It's almost like you're going against the flow of people as you're heading back this way. you can certainly make your way through in the direction you're going. But you do overhear as you're going past several children running fast and sort of going, I think the snails are this way, the snails are this way. And obviously some event is happening further on round, but you can continue to carry on the way that you're going as well.
Was this about snails?
You ask one of the children, or are you just saying that out to the others?
Saying that to Moira and Amaros.
No clue. Want to take a look at that first?
I mean, sure, why not?
I'm fine with anything at this point. Just don't leave me behind, okay?
You want to hitch a ride, Moira?
I'll be fine.
All right.
If you need something to hold on to, my tail is available.
Okay.
So yeah, we head with the flow towards the snail race.
Cool. Okay, so you're sort of heading that. Those children persuaded you to go in that direction, I'll say. Awesome. So you guys, we'll say that you go in there. Bula and Kane, you from whence you come into this area, you'll probably be sort of directed by a carnival folk to seats at the side. And now that you're all in this area, I'll sort of describe it in a bit more detail. So when you come into this large area at the back of the field seems to have been turned into a racetrack, with much of the space taken up with wooden tiered seating for guests. In the centre, there's a circular racetrack, which is reasonably sort of long if it was like sort of in a straight line. It's quite a big track, very wide, and there seems to be a sort of a start-finish line in a similar area that's got lots of colourful flags above it to sort of dictate where it begins and ends. At the starting line, there are currently 8 large snails, all having their shells scrubbed by several sort of a gnome attendants. They're all currently being cleaned. You'll notice they're all different colours. These are a bit like African land snails, but they're about a foot tall and long. And they have this sort of bluish spiral shell, and bluish tinted sort of shell, although they've got sort of painted colours on them as well. And they've got very long tentacles, which I discovered is the actual name. They're not antennae that snails have. They're actually called tentacles, which is interesting. And they're sort of all currently being cleaned and washed and getting ready for a race that seems to be very close to starting.
Where would you guys like to sit?
Maybe we can just take the seats right here at the front by the entrance. Make it easy for us. See if there's any open room.
Are we talking
good.
front row or?
Well, I'll leave that a bit up to you since I don't know what seating will be best for you. You might have a harder time seeing from behind others than me or Amaros. Yes.
I would say if we sit in front rows, you'll have it easy to see. If we take the first back row, she could sit on your shoulders.
And you can see this seating is tiered, so whether you sit at the front or the back, you will basically have a good view over other people's heads. Most of the children seem to be sitting in the front, just because obviously when adults are sitting in the middle, if you're short, then you probably won't get to see as much. But if you sit at the very back, at the very top, you're going to be so high that you'll be able to see like way down the field. So
Let's go to the top.
All right then.
And Bula and Kane, are you going to take some seats, or were you having a look around, or what were you up to?
I guess Kane will turn to Bula at sort of seeing the seats that are available, and he'll say, Well, I hate to be cliche, but you know I'm going to take the middle row.
And you can see at the moment, as you're standing there's lots and lots of people are sitting down. These seats are now filling in quite quickly. There are sort of pockets of space every now and again, but families are sort of spreading themselves out and they're slowly filling this area out. And as you're deciding kind of where you're going, this tall elfin gentleman comes up to you and says, "Please, take your seats as soon as you can. The show will be beginning very soon." And he just walks over and sort of, with one hand on the fence, leaps over into the racetrack and starts making his way towards the start line.
So, Bula, should we sit in front of those people that we just met, or would you rather we go somewhere maybe more to the right?
Well, the seats are filling up pretty fast, so maybe we just go there with them.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Wiggle.
And I'll just check in with you as well, Galatea. You see that this elfin gentleman probably hop over the fence and head towards them in the middle, and it appears from where you've been sitting there and watching that the crowds have sort of started filling up around you. That people give you space, and no one sort of, there's not that many people that it's like packed in. People do spread themselves out across all these benches, but are you comfortable sitting where you are and watching this race?
Yeah, at
Yeah.
this point, I'm just, this is the least worst option.
Okay. So yeah, so you
It's
start
not
seeing.
bad up here.
All right. So you start seeing, all these people coming in, and then the crowds of people start, making quite a lot of noise. You can hear all this sort of talking going on, and then this elven gentleman, who it was sort of heading up to the starting line. You see him turn around after talking to some of the handlers for a while, and comes back, stands roughly sort of center of this racetrack, and he takes a stone or something from his pocket, and you see him sort of hold it up towards his throat, and as he does, you hear his voice suddenly booming out across this area, and whereas normally it would be almost impossible to hear him over everybody else, his voice becomes extremely loud and clear across it, and it's very quickly that all the crowds start hushing down, and when they hear his voice. And this elf is a very, from what you can see at this distance, very attractive, tall, slender build. He's got long strawberry blonde hair and these bright emerald green eyes, and a very sort of coppery tanned skin. And he's obviously something majorly to do with the snails. Whether he's a rider, you're not sure, but he has this green leather waistcoat with a orange neckerchief around his neck, and these sort of brown leather jodhpurs that he's wearing. And so you held this stone up to his throat, and you hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the most exciting race of your lives. We have scoured the lands looking for the fastest, most energetic, most beautiful gastropods this world has to offer, and we bring them here for you today for some high-paced, high-stakes racing entertainment." And the crowd hollers and shouts in excitement, waving flags and ringing bells. "Now, we have jockeys ready to ride for your enjoyment. However, if there are any amongst you who would like to take up the reins of one of these fine beasts and set your name in the history as a top snail racer, then I open the floor to you now. Come and select your racing partner." And he turns and waves towards these snails, and they're all being lined up currently by their trainers. And there are currently 8 snails of various colours. So he looks to the crowd to see if anyone would like to race a snail.
Gula is
I'm
gonna
getting in on
lead
that.
on this.
Sorry, what was that, Bula?
I'm saying Bula is like leaping on this. She's doing this.
Excellent.
Oh, Ambrose is right behind her.
And there
He's
are
going
sort
for
of
the blue one.
there are ushers sort of around the fence, and when they see people coming down, they're sort of There's quite a lot of people who come down to the side, who are like other children and various parents who are all looking. But the handlers are kind of picking things people that they think are probably going to be able to hang on to the snails themselves. A lot of the children, unfortunately, are a bit disappointed. They're sort of told that they're too young or too small to go on the snails and they would fall off. But they see you and they welcome you over, and you're free to pick whichever snail you would like. So, Amaros, you said you're going to head towards one of the blue snail?
Yes.
Perfect. So when you do jump over the fence, they will just take your card off of you and use their little gadget to kind of punch a hole in it, and they will hand it back. So you've now got 3 holes in your ticket currently.
I think that Kane kind of reaches out his hand and he's like, "Oh wait, Bula. Oh, all right. I guess I'm riding a snail today."
At the sight of Amaros leaping, Moira is kind of what's the word? Not jumping, but like bouncing on her seat. Turns to Tisva. Should I go? Can I go? There's snails. I could ride a snail. Can I ride a snail?
Go, have fun. I'll
Okay.
save your seats.
And I'm going, hoping to be able to ride a snail.
Okay. So when you run down to the side, one of the ushers do ask you, are you an adult? Do you have a parent with you that's able to make sure that you're all safe and that? And after sort of give them a little look, they sort of realise that you're not a child, and they allow you to jump over, and you can scamper off and find yourself a snail as well. Bula, were you taking the red one, are you?
No, the green one.
Sorry, yeah, there's a green one underneath you, isn't there? Sorry, I didn't see that one there. Perfect. Right, let me just make a little note of this. So Tisven, you're not going to take part?
Nah, he doesn't really feel like sitting on top of a snail would be the safest thing with his size, so he'll sit this one out.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my worst nightmare, being in the middle of attention.
Okay, so you're not taking part, Galatea, no?
No.
No? Okay, no problem.
I'm just gonna look over at Tisvan and nod very slightly.
This one will just nod back and then turn back, watching his friends have fun.
All right, so
Same.
okay, so Maura, you going for yellow?
Yes.
Kane, you are on the black. Okay, so and then we've got Bula on green and Amaros on blue. Okay, so each of these snails, when you head over to them, they all have a color, and they also have a name on their bridles. So the blue one is called Nimblefoot. The green is High Road. Green one is Quickleaf. Sorry. Yellow is Flower Flash. And black is Queen's Majesty. And when you get there, I think all of you, probably bar Moira, when you sit astride and you're helped sort of onto the snail. Now these snails, I say, are a foot. They're giant compared to regular snails, but they're only like a foot a foot tall and a foot wide. So when you sort of put your legs over, and Bula, you're probably feeling this the most. When you straddle it, you're kind of wondering, how is this going to work? Because my legs are going to be dragging along the floor and sitting on these snails because I'm quite large. And Moira, you're sitting on top, sort of perched on top of the shell. Your legs are just sort of dangling and swinging around. And so you're all sort of looking around wondering, how does this work? Because this feels like I'm not going to go very fast with my weight compared to the size of this snail. And the other snails are basically taken up by other people, members of the crowd. There are a couple of children who have managed to sneak through, and maybe their parents have sort of told the hands that, do you know who I am? My child can ride on here. I give them permission. Go on. And they've sort of gone, oh, okay, all right, whatever. It's your risk. And then there's a couple of adults on the other ones as well. But essentially, all the snails are now full. So when you've all sort of taken your seats and you're looking around, you're thinking of that. The elven gentleman will hold the stone to his throat again. And he'll say, I'm delighted to see such wonderful and fearless volunteers to the world of snail racing. Now, each of you will find a small bottle in the side pocket of your snail saddle. Please drink it, and we shall begin the race.
Suspiciously staring at the bottle.
So you see like some of the people there sort of like looking at this potion-y thing that's in this little bottle. And it's just like a glass vial that has a orange kind of liquid. It looks a little bit sort of viscous in there, and if you sort of pop the top of it to sort of take a sniff of it, it has a sort of a mushroomy smell.
Boola's just gonna look at it, shrug, and chugs that thing.
Okie dokie. You down the potion. The elven gentleman will sort of see a few of you sort of looking and like sort of raised eyebrows, and he'll say, have no fear, the potion is just something to level the playing field. I assure you it is quite harmless, and its effects will wear off after the race.
Well, I guess if Boola's doing it.
I also
Ambrose kind of raises the bottle to more sort of as if doing a shear and then chugging it.
Okay, so you all down this orangey potion, as do the other people on their snails as well. And it's not the most pleasant of drinks flavor wise. It does have this very sort of mushroomy sort of aftertaste, but the actual liquid itself is a little bit sort of like thick as it's going down. But it's thankfully not very much, and you swallow it. And as you sort of sit there, sort of thinking, hell was that I'm supposed to be drinking? What does he mean about leveling the player field? You'll suddenly feel like your feet are like a little bit off the ground, whereas before they were quite firmly planted into the mud either side of you. And after a few moments, you'll realize that all of you, probably not so much for you, Moira, but most of you will realize that you have shrunk down to small size. And you are now perched on top with your legs dangling, your hands on these quite large now reins as you sit astride the top of this snail shell. And everybody now is now a small size and is all the same weight, and to make it fair for these snails' face. And the bowl the glass jar that you were holding probably falls to the ground, quite a much bigger in your hand now than it was previously. So the elven gentleman stands at the beginning of the line, and he looks out at all of you with a wry smile on his face as you all kind of come to this contemplation that you've all shrunk. And he takes out a large green flag that has an embroidered snail in gold thread on the front of it. And he looks out towards the crowds, and he sort of holds it straight up into the air. And all the crowds, you can hear sort of like the cheering, and they're all very much involved in this snail race. And he raises it high up into the air, looks towards the crowd, and then after a moment, he swings it down while shouting, "Go!" And the snails all shoot off across the racetrack. So, the way that this works, so all of you. Yeah?
Sorry, what was the yellow snail's name again?
The yellow snail was called Flower Flash.
Thank you.
So, how this works is that your snails will, basically, they will race themselves. They will go off at their top speed and race around this track. So you've got 6 rounds to get to the end. You can influence your snail, though, with an animal handling check to see if you can get a little bit more out of them. So each round, your snail will travel about 80 feet, and you have to make a wisdom animal handling check to see if you succeed in garnering a little bit more out of or encouraging the snail to go a little bit faster. So if you succeed, you'll get an extra 10 feet of movement. If you succeed by How much you get? So if you exceed by a certain amount, you'll actually move 20 feet. If you fail, however, you will go minus 10, and if you fail really badly, you'll go minus 20. And at the beginning of each round, apart from the first one, there are going to be some surprises that might happen along the race that you're not encountering. So they may have an effect on your progression as well. So, give me 1 second. All right. So let's see who's going to be first. Let's go. Well, Amorous, you're on the blue snail, aren't you? And the pink one is flying from you. So let's go. Well, actually, I'll go the way that I've written this down because it'll be easy for me to follow. Okay, so Amorous, your snail shoots forward, covering about 80. Well, sorry, we'll find out. Your snail shoots forward. Could you make me an animal handling check, please, to see if you can encourage your snail to move just that little bit quicker off the mark?
Will do, good sir. That is 15.
15, yes, perfect. So yeah, your snail rushes off at the start, and what do you do to encourage your snail, do you think, to get it to go a little bit faster?
Come on, big boy. You know that blue is the best color.
Okay, so tell it that its color is going to win. So you go shooting off. So after from the first round, you head off and you make up 90 feet. You go that additional 10 feet and you go flying off. Okay, Bula, you're next in the line. So could you give me an animal handling check, please? Oh dear. Did you have anything to add to that, or was it just a 4? Oh no, it was a 7 altogether. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately you fail. And so even though you're sitting on top and you're shrunk in size, for some reason your snail is just a little bit dopier. It hasn't quite realized that it's supposed to be going. And unfortunately it doesn't go as fast. So you only move 70 feet on this one. So you're sort of lagging a little bit behind. Okay. The next one, let's say the red one is the next one. So I'll roll for the NPC. Actually, do you know what? Why don't I get those two that are not playing currently? You can roll for one. So you pick a color each, and you can roll for your NPC. So which color would you like, Galatea?
Sorry?
So because you're not participating,
right.
and I don't want you to be like doing nothing during this period of time, do you want to take up the role of one of the NPCs and roll for them?
Cool.
So which color would you like to be?
Purple.
Purple, okay. And Tisfan?
Tisfan is not a part of this.
I know, but I was just going to say, if you want to, so you're not doing nothing during this period of time, if you want to take up the role of one of the NPCs?
I mean, sure.
If you want to, you don't have to, but you won't be rolling or doing anything for a little while we do this, so it's up to you.
No, that's fine by me. I'm just enjoying it.
Okay. So which color would you like to be?
I can take the red one then.
The red one? Okay, perfect. All right, so Galatea, you're purple. Would you like to make just a straight natural 20 roll for me, please?
Oh, okay.
Oh dear. This NPC, for some reason, the purple snail, isn't having a bar of it. Does not like the person on their back, doesn't want to go anywhere, and it just drags its little snail feet in the mud and only goes a total of 60 feet on this turn. Very, very difficult, this one. The gnomes nod to each other, knowing that this is not unusual for the purple snail itself. So they don't make much of a distance. So you feel a little bit better, Bula, that your snail is still ahead of someone in the pack. Kane, would you like to please make me an animal handling check?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, 22. Very, very good. Your snail, I don't know what you do to whisper sweet nothings in the ear of this snail. What do you do to encourage it?
Come on, my little mollusk friend. Show me why you're called the Queen's Grace.
Lovely. And you whisper into the ear of the snail, and whether it's been named Queen because it just happens to be like the best one, or whether it feels like it's got this grandioso compared to everyone else because it has this link to a monarchy of some sort. But it shoots off with you, even though you got your heavy armor and stuff in your reduced size now. It wants to be the head of the pack, and it goes shooting forward. And it actually covers 100 feet in that first one, so you go way out ahead. The wrong one. There. Excellent. All right, Moira, could you please give me an animal handling check?
Okay.
Uh, 10. Yep, that's good. So you succeed. Oh, hang on. No, sorry, you don't succeed. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong number. No, unfortunately, your snail is a little bit slow as well. It's not quite as fast as the others. It appears. You see Kane shoot past you, but you're not too bad. You still make it 70 feet around. So you're sort of neck and neck with the half-orc lady that joined you.
Yeah.
So let me just move you guys somewhere on here as a vague idea of where you guys are, because trying to plot this on a circle is a bit difficult. So you're there. You're sort of neck and neck coming around this corner here. Okay, and Tisvan, could you please roll me a 20, please?
Absolutely. That is an 18.
18, perfect. Okay, so this NPC is great. They on their red snail. They come along. They actually go 90 feet as well, so they're up with you, Amaros. They have a good start too. So at the only one at the back at the moment is the purple snail, and I will roll for the last NPC. Oh, don't want to roll a d12. I want to roll a d20. There we go. Let's see how they do. Well, it was almost a 1, it looked like, but it was a 7. And unfortunately, yes, they don't do very... Oh, sorry, I rolled in as you, Bula. Sorry about I was clicking on your character from earlier. So unfortunately, they have a bad start as well, and they only get 60. So 2 of these NPCs are really struggling to control their snails. So unfortunately, they don't make it very far. And we now go into the second round. So, Amaros. Oh, hang on. Sorry, before I do that, can Galatea, could you give me a roll, a d8 for me, please?
Yes.
4. Okay. Could you roll me another d8, please? Number 1. Okay. Unfortunately, that means that although Amaros, your snail had a great start, unfortunately, it seems to have either eaten too much while it was in its pen this morning, or it just strained itself a little too much out of the gate. But your snail has unfortunately got a stitch, which reduces the speed by 40 feet this round. So you can still make your roll to see if you can get an additional bit out of it, but it will be reduced by 40 on this particular round, unfortunately.
Oh, man. Okay, let's see. Well, that was fitting. I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1. Okay, so that means it's minus 60. So unfortunately, this round, you only move 20 feet. As your snail, after its first start, suddenly slows to a crawl, and you can feel it kind of its muscles tensing as it seems to have got this stitch. So you only go 20 feet, which means you're at 110 feet now, maximum. So you're still 10 feet behind Kane. Okay. So let's have Bula next, please.
I'm just refinding the thing.
No worries. Oh my god.
Oh, why have I rolled 2?
I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know.
Did
What
it
did
at
you
a
do?
disadvantage?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
because I accidentally right-clicked it.
Oh,
No, I
you done it
didn't
again?
right-click it this time.
Did you have any dice in the area at the bottom?
No.
No? Alright, try again. See if you can get it this time. No, something funny is going on. Were you rolling in D&D Beyond, or are you rolling in this program?
In the program.
Oh, and you sure there's nothing typed into the public role? Are you
Yeah. I literally just clicked on skills like I normally do.
okay?
Maybe it's because I'm holding down my voice button. Hold on.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. It must have
There you
been.
go.
It must have been. Okay, so you roll dice. So again, you sort of like kick your heels on the side to kind of encourage this snail. It doesn't go any faster, but it continues its same speed. So you're still slightly slower than the other ones, but you're now at 140 feet. So you have you're past where you shoot past Amros on their snail. Galatea, please could you roll me a d20?
Yeah.
Oh, weird one. Perfect. Yes. So after a bad start, this NPC on the purple snail starts flailing and kicking the side of it, and this snail suddenly realizes that it's not going to get any peace unless it makes a move, and it shoots off, and it covers this time 90 feet. Oh, actually no, it actually gets an additional 20 feet, so it's caught up. So it's now at 160. No. Yeah, 90, 150 feet. Yeah. So it actually even goes past Bula on this turn as well. So having been behind you, it's now slightly in front of you. Kane, could you please give me an animal handling check?
Okay. Not so good this time.
Oh, not too bad this time. Okay, yeah. So, after an amazing start, your snail seems to slow down, having expended its energy a bit too quickly off the start, and this time it only it drops 20. So, you're at 100 and oh no, you're still 160. So you are still 10 feet ahead. You managed to retain your lead, but the others are just clipping at your heels at the moment. Okay. Moira.
Okay.
Ooh, lovely. Yep, your snail and you are one and the same at the moment. So it goes shooting. So yeah, so it actually gets an extra 20 feet on top of that. So that's 90. So you are now level with Kane. You are
It's
neck
okay,
and neck
girl.
currently with Kane. You come flying up the inside.
It's okay, girl. We got this. We got this. It's okay. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hi.
So yeah, you just slightly in front of Bula as you pass on the inside. Amros, you see sort of slowing down in the distance as his snails seems to be having a problem currently. Okay, Tisvan, could you please roll me a d20?
Of course. Ooh, that's a 2.
A 2, okay. Unfortunately, the red snail is not having a good day and is lagging behind everyone currently. It fails to move forward another 20 feet as well. So that will be at... what was it, the first time? Okay, so it's still 120 though. So it still is just ahead of Amoros, unfortunately. So Amoros, you are at the back of the pack currently. But we've got 2 more NPCs. Let's see where they go. Right, let me just roll for the other one. Okay, so that one doesn't go very far either, and let me just put that in there. So, yep, there we go. So that one does again. So that one also is neck and neck. So these 2 last NPCs are sort of neck and neck, and they just go past you. So Amoros, you are currently at the back of the pile, unfortunately. Tisvan, can you give me a roll of a d8, please?
Absolutely. That is a 6.
6, okay. And can you give me another d8, please?
And that's a 4.
A 4. Okay, so on this round, the crowd is cheering and blowing the horns and rattling things and ringing bells, and all of these snails are sort of bolstered by this going through. But the one that's bolstered by it most is Kane. You can move an additional 20 feet on this round. So when we get to your turn, just remember we can add 20 to whatever you roll this time. So yeah, your snail, the Queen's Majesty, He's emboldened by this cheering, probably remembering the days where the subjects bowed down to the Queen of Snails. Amros, please give me an animal handling check to see if we can get you back in the front of the pack.
Oh, good boy.
20.
20, perfect. Okay, so you add that to another. Put it on top of that, so that is. So you are now at 210. So you go. Currently, as you're going around, you're picking up speed, going into the lead. There at the moment. So yes, so you get an extra burst of speed. It seems that Stitch has been thrown off of the snail now, and it's back in the race. Okay, can we have Bula, please?
You go, good boy.
Let's go.
Oh no. Unfortunately, Bula, your snail is not really having a good time at the moment. They were lagging a little bit behind, but they decided that they're just not having a good day today. And unfortunately, they start falling behind everybody else. You see Amros goes speeding ahead on the outside. But you only managed to travel. That's minus 20, isn't it? Because you got 6. Yeah, so it. Oh no, hang on. Is that right? Yes. Okay, so you only move 70 feet this time. So you're. But that's still 200 feet. So you're actually only 10 feet behind Amros, even though they are going in the head, going into the lead currently. So I think because they were hindered by that minus 40 last round. So you're only slightly behind the one in lead at the moment. Perfect. Okay, Galatea, please give me a d20 roll. Excellent. Okay, so they do pretty well. Their snail continues to go at a good rate. So they are now at what's we say on there? It's 90. So they're at 240. Okay, so this NPC on the purples now having a bad start is now currently in the lead. They're about 30 feet ahead of you, Amoros, as they go speeding past. And the rider has a big smile on their face. It's one of the children from earlier on who is currently quaffing some popping candy as they're going around and seems to be as high as the snail is currently. Okay, Kane, please give me a roll and we'll add 20 to whatever you get. Or 20 feet onto whatever you get.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. So unfortunately, your snail, even though they are bolstered by this cheering, they hit a patch of loose mud in this track, and they can't get their grip with their snail feet, and they still manage to travel their normal speed at least anyway. So you're also at 240 as well. So you're neck and neck with this purple that's come flying around the corner. So you're about 30 feet ahead of Amros currently. But neck and neck with this purple snail. Okay, Moira.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, 20, very good. Another good score. Your snail is picking up the pace now. It's got its stride. And he goes herring off down the track, following after Kane. And you get an additional 0-100 that. So you actually go flying into the lead. You are now 20 foot ahead of Kane as you come around on the inside track, and the yellow snail speeding ahead of Her Majesty. Okay.
I shout back to Kate, I'm sorry!
Okay. And you see, Amros sort of in the distance, still doing okay, catching up after that sort of bad start on the last round, but currently sort of in the distance away from you. All right, Tisfan, could you please roll me a natural? Roll me a natural 20 would be great. Can you roll me a d20, please?
That is a 7.
A 7. Okay. It still carries on at. So it's slightly slower than its normal speed. So it only travels 70 this time. So it's only 190. So it's at the back of the pack at the moment. Not quite up. Actually, Bula, so you're not at the back. This other snail. This red snail is lingering behind you at the moment. Okay, and I will roll for the last one. Okay, they do okay. They're not too bad. They get their normal movement, and they are 200 again. So there are 2 behind you currently, Bula, at the moment. So there are 6 of you are up in the front, with Moira flying way ahead of everybody else. As we enter the 3rd round. So, Galatea, could you please roll me a d8?
There you go.
A 7, okay. And could you roll me another d8, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so the crowds continue to cheer and make more noise, possibly because you're on the outside of the ring, Amoros. But your snail hears this cheering, and it just bolsters them this round. Having sort of slipped back and wanting to regain their lead again, they get an additional 20 feet of movement this round. And it is now your turn. So let's see how well you can handle your snail.
Come on, you hear them. Let's keep going, shall we? That's a 19.
Perfect. Okay, lovely. So you get an extra 20 feet on your normal movement, plus that extra 20 as well. So you get an extra 40 feet this time. So where are we? You were at 210. So there's 130 on top of that, isn't it? So you're at 340 feet now. You are. Okay, so okay, your snail speeds around this track very, very quickly. Suddenly bolstered by this cheering, the snail is definitely picking up speed now. What are you doing to encourage it as well as this cheering?
I kind of did that before by hyping it up before I rolled.
Oh, did you? Okay, sorry. Perfect. Well, your snail goes shooting off and is picking up great speed now. Bula, let's see if we can get your snail also getting moving. Hey, there we go. That's more like it. Excellent. Your snail, having got used to its stride finally after 3 rounds, now starts to pick up a bit of speed, and you get an additional 20. So you are now at 300. So you're still 40 feet behind Amoros currently, but you are definitely making up the speed. Okay. Who have we got next? Galatea.
Yes. D20?
Yes, please. 9. Not quite enough. Unfortunately, the purple starts to slow down. So they're only going to be at 70 this time. So they're 310. Okay, so you're catching up, Bula, to this purple one. It's dropped back. It's only 10 feet ahead of you at the moment. So you're currently in 3rd place. They're in 2nd. And let's see how that changes when we get to Kane. $15. Okay, that's good. Yep. So you get an extra 10 feet out of your snail this time. So we're at 90 for that. So 330. Okay, so you are just 10 feet behind Amoros. Your snail slowly catching up. So we've got that one. So yeah, 340, 330. Who was at 310? That was the NPC. Abilities at 300. Yes, that's about right. They are there. Okay. Perfect. Yep. So at the currently stands, Amoros is in the lead, followed closely by Kane, who is then followed by the purple snail NPC, and then Bula. Moira.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Excellent. Yep. You get.
Okay.
Get a little extra bit out of your snail as well. They're still being keeping their pace up. So you go an extra 90 feet as well. So that means you're at 350. So actually you are in the lead. You are 10 feet ahead of Amoros. So it's a very close race. We've got Moira out in front. 10 feet behind is Amoros. 10 feet behind Amoros is Kane. And then 20 feet behind Kane is Bula, and then one of the purple NPC is in between, I think. Let's see where the other NPCs are. They're trailing slowly at the back. Not much of a threat, but let's see if we can get any speed boost out of them. So, Tisfan, could you give me a D20 roll, please?
That is a natural 20.
Natural 20. Oh my
yeah.
goodness. This snail it does not like to be at the back. It is suddenly picking up speed, the Ren snail. So let's see. That will be just 20 on that. So okay, they're at 290 feet. They're still 10 feet behind Bula, but they're slowly gaining on you. And I'll roll for the last NPC. Okay, they're not doing too badly. They're carrying on as well. They are keeping neck and neck with the red. So I think mine must be the pink one or the orange one. I'm not sure. But they are slowly they are keeping neck and neck at the back. So as we go into the 5th round, the penultimate round, this one, could you please give me a D8 roll?
That is a 3.
A 3, okay. So nothing on this turn happens. Everyone is carrying on. There's no interruptions to this race, so this will just be a straight run. So Amros, could you give me a roll, please?
That's a 16.
16? Okay, so yeah, you get a additional 10 feet of that, so 400 and right, so you're at 430 at the moment. Okay, so yeah, so let's see about that, 430 feet. So you make a good progress there. You got an extra 10 feet out of this now. It's still going hard. Excellent. Right, Bula, let's see if you can catch up. Excellent. Yeah, you get an extra 10 feet out of it. So you are now at 390. So unfortunately, you're still about 40 feet or so behind Amros, but you're doing okay. You've got one more round to see if you can catch up. Galatea, a D20 roll, please. See where the purple one's going. Oh, wow, this one's doing pretty good. Okay, so they get an extra 90 feet of movement as well. So they are at 400. So you're keeping level, Bula, essentially, with this one. It's still 10 feet ahead of you, the purple one. But you only got one more round left to see if you can pass them. Okay, Kane.
All right.
11, not quite enough to get a boost out of it, but the snail does still continue to move on at good speed. So that would be, well, actually, you and Bula are now level. You and Bula are both in the same place. So you are currently 390 feet. So Amros has shot forward a bit. They're about 40 feet in front of you, but you and Bula are currently balanced in place.
I'm going to smile encouragingly at her.
Excellent. Moira, let's see if you can keep your lead.
Moira in the middle of these two other people stressing out. Ah!
Excellent. So let's see. Oh goodness, yes, you get an extra 20 feet out of your one as well. All right, so that is an additional 100. So you are 20 feet still ahead of Amorous as we come into the final bend. I'll move you guys up to here. Okay, so yeah, so Bula and Kane level. Amros, you're still slightly behind, but the Moira's snail seems to be heading off at a rocketing speed. Still heading towards the finish line at the moment. Tisvan.
Yes.
Let's see where the other NPCs are. They're way at the back at the moment. So it's unlikely that they'll catch up, but we might as well see what happens.
That is a 19.
19? Okay, that's pretty good. So what was so they get extra 20 on that one. So they are now neck and neck with Kane and Bula. They've managed to catch up. So there are 3 snails currently vying for third place, I guess. And I'll roll for the last one. Let's see how well this one is doing. And they got 17, which is enough. So yeah, so there are 4 snails now currently in third place, with Amaros and Moira currently leading. And we come into the final bend to see who will cross the finish line first. So Galatea, could you give me a D8 roll, please? Okay, 7. All right, could you roll me another D8, please? 6. Who's that? Okay, so the the red snail gets an extra 20 feet on top of whatever they roll this time. So the NPC will get this bonus. All right, so as we go into the last roll, let's see who is going to win this thing. Amaros, please give me a roll.
It's gonna be tight. I can already tell. That is 18.
18, lovely. Okay, yeah, so you get an extra 20 on top of your normal one, so you are now at 530. So you have passed the finish line, but we've got to see, because you're all going at the same time, we've got to see who will get there first. So you have made it to the finish line. It's really going to just be between you and Moira, I think, at this point, but we'll see. All right, Bula. Bula, please give me the roll. Oh, no, it's too low. Unfortunately, your snail lags at the last moment, probably puffed out from running around this one, seeing the other snails so far ahead of it. It can't quite muster enough to go on, but it still does travel 70 feet, so you get to 460 feet. So, yeah, you're still shy. You've still got another 20 feet to get to the finish line. But you'll make it there eventually. You're not quite at the finish line yet. Galatea, please give me a roll.
I'm scared now. Moira's gonna kill me. Is that good enough?
That's that's gonna not be quite good enough to pass, but it's not a
Good.
It's not a here. Yes, they're still not. Okay, so they get extra. They lose at 10 feet, so they get they are 470. So they're 10 feet ahead of Bula, unfortunately, but they still haven't passed the line either. So they're not going to quite get to the finish line, but they're just ahead of Bula at the moment. Okay, Kane.
All right.
$16. Okay, that's good. You get an extra 10 feet on yours, so you actually make it to. Notice so that's 408. So you are 10 feet. So you do make it exactly to the line. You make it exactly to the finish line, finishing just 10 feet ahead of. Yes, 10 feet ahead. No, 20 feet ahead of Bula. So you do actually manage to make the line, and let's see, Moira. Let's see if you pass the line before Amaros does. Oh my goodness. So that's a 15. So you get an additional 10 feet. And seeing as you're at the lead beforehand, I would imagine that probably puts you in the lead. So let's see. 20. Yes, 550. So yeah, Moira will carry on and we'll roll for the other ones. But yes, you pass 20 feet before Amaros gets there. So it looks like it's going to be Moira in first place, Amaros in second place, and now we need to see who finishes third. So Tisfan, can you just roll roll your d20 for me, please?
That is a 16.
16. Okay, so they get another 90 on there. So they are at so they pass the line as well. So they come in exactly the same time as Kane, and then we just roll for the last one as well, who've been keeping neck and neck all this time. But unfortunately, they fail at the last moment. They only move 70, so they are only going to be so they're going to be back where Bula is as well. So you're the three people, unfortunately, who did not pass or did not finish the race in time before the first ones would be Bula and two of the NPCs, unfortunately. So we have in first place Moira. Second place, Amaros. And in third place, Kane. Congratulations, everyone. You've completed the snail race.
As
And
Amaros gets off the snail, he's gonna run over to Moira and give her a high five. Just because, one, they're the same size, so it's a perfect opportunity to do it. And two, yay, she won!
excellent. And, I like the little picture.
I
Perfect.
I slide down from the snail, and slightly very confused for a short moment as to why Amaros is the same size as me, and then I remember the drink, and I high five, and then I start jumping around like, whee!
Yeah, and when you do get off Amaros, you have to kind of slide down this shell because obviously you are now much smaller than you were before, and so you have to sort of slide off and onto the ground. But luckily it's soft mud, so you're not going to fall too far. But as you all come in, eventually crossing the line, the elf comes out and stands in front of the line, waving his flag again, and says, "Congratulations, everyone! Well done, well done. Please, can I ask the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was the most exciting snail race I have ever seen. Congratulations to our winners and commiserations to our losers. May I have the riders that arrived in first and last place join me at the podium, please?" So Moira and let's say Bula. We'll say that you came in probably joint last with the other NPC. So we'll get you two to come up to the stage, please, which will be in the center of the ring.
Okay.
Bull's kind of gonna look at Kane all confused because like she lost and follow suit and do as she's told, I guess.
Yeah, he'll wave you on and say, please come up along here. Yes, the first and the last person, please. Thank you very much. And the rest of you, please, can we have a big round of applause for our other contestants? Thank you very much. And the crowd cheers and claps their hands, and the attendants sort of, the gnomes take the snail's reins and sort of pull them to one side, and they sort of show the rest of you to the sort of the exit and the gate back out to the stands to one side as well. Those of you coming in second and third probably like wondering, like, hang on a minute, what? But I was ahead of that person, but they just this seems to be how the snail racing is scored. And so once you are returned to your seats, and Bula and Moira, you both join this elven gentleman in the center of the ring, and he comes up to Moira first. Oh, by the way, by the time this snail race is finished, and you've left your snails, you will slowly start turning back to your regular heights. And by the time you sort of retake your seats, you're back to normal again. And he'll come up to you, Moira, and says, "Congratulations! Have you ever ridden a snail before?"
Not really, no.
"Oh, well, never told. It was amazing. Well, you have certainly earned the prize today." And he takes from a satchel, he has what looks like a potion, and he hands you the bottle. And it's a glass bottle that has a sort of a golden mist-like liquid inside it, and it sort of swirls around, and it has written on it, "Potion of Advantage." And essentially what this is, we'll add it to your inventory, is... it gives you, when you drink it, it gives you advantage on one ability check, attack, or saving throw within the hour after drinking it. So you can drink it, and then within that hour, you can use it at any point until it wears off.
Oh.
Congratulations for first place. Well done, well done. And then he turns to you, Bula, and he probably looks up towards you, because although he's quite tall, you are also quite tall as well. And he sort of flicks his strawberry blonde long hair and looks at you with his piercing green eyes. And he says there, "Commiserations, my friend, but do not let this be the last snail race of your career. I see great potential in you for the future. Here, please accept this small gift as a reminder of your bravery today." And he takes out a small box from his belt, and he hands it towards you.
Oh, thank you.
"You're very welcome." And he sort of like takes the top off to reveal inside a magic wand.
Bula gets really excited the second she sees this thing.
And it's a nicely carved. It's simple looking, but a nicely carved wooden wand, and it has engraved just on the sort of, I don't know if you call it the hilt, but the handle of it, a little sort of like a little flower of some sort. And in the box is like little instructions for it, but essentially it's a wand that allows you to cast dancing lights once. It's a one-off thing, but it allows you to cast the cantrip dancing lights. And he says, thank you very much for being here today and competing. There will be more snail races throughout the day, so please come again whenever you can. And the crowd cheers and claps, and all the attendants sort of will take Moira and Bula and sort of lead you out and show you where the gate is, back to your seats again.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. He's bowing a lot.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome, and congratulations. Well done on a magnificent snail race. As I say, the best snail race I've ever seen. Please do make sure that you follow up on this. If it's a career path that you are thinking of taking up more seriously, I've never seen such a snail handled so well in all my life.
I will put that on the back burner.
Of course. Well, if you ever choose to come a race again, please, we would welcome you back. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy the rest of the shows, the carnival's events. And people will start slowly leaving the arena and making their way back into the carnival.
Oh wow, that was a lot.
You appear to have enjoyed it. I'm happy for you.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Flower Flash was an awesome snail.
Indeed, you and I were neck on neck. And Amoros also helps Moira over the fence as they're about to leave.
Galateus, slowly climb down as one of the last people leaving the first seat she's on later on, and just sort of nod to the group that's just been riding and going, good work. That was surprisingly entertaining.
Thank you. You did well too, I would say.
Galatea wasn't in the race. They were just rolling for an NPC.
Oh wait, I thought it was Bula for a second. Oops, my bad.
Well, meanwhile, Bula is actually going to go up to Kane and show him the one she got, and she's like, look, I don't know why they gave me it, but Kane, look!
Is that a wand?
It is! Why did they give me it?
That's wonderful. Probably so that you could really focus in your magic.
Do you think they somehow knew?
Oh, yes, of course they did. It's obvious to anyone that you could do magic, Bula.
Oh, you're probably right. Thanks, Kane.
Oh, of course.
Okay, so what are you doing now? Now that the snail race is over, what would you like to do? What entertainment would you like to continue to explore in this carnival?
Is there anything else competitive about that I can see?
So you don't know exactly what's going on in the large tent that is not the main tent. but there seem to be lots of noises and cries of joy and things from that large tent that was just to the right of the main tent. And there were a few stages that were set up that looked like there might be some sort of crowds gathering similar to the snail racing as well. So there may be sort of either some rides or events that are happening that maybe multiple participants can take part in.
Well, now I have my magic wand, and as fun as that was, I didn't win. I would like to win today, Kane. Can we find something else to play?
Well, yes, of course. What did you have your eye on?
Well, there is that tent. I'm not sure there's anything competitive inside, but if there is, then we could try.
Which one were you interested in? The one in the middle, the larger one, or the blue one?
I think the blue one.
Well, looks like it's just down the way, so we can head there now.
I would love that.
Well, all right then. Lead the way.
Okay, so you're heading off in that direction. The rest of you, what are you up to?
I need to return my cup.
You need to return your cup. Okay, yeah. So you're sort of heading in the same direction then as well. And as the sort of the three of you sort of head in that direction, you'll Galatea, you know that there's the small tent here that Mortimer was working at, and there are various stalls along the way. Some selling food and drink, some selling sort of gifts and things for the guests that are at the event. And then there are multiple tents with other events and rides and all sorts of things going on as well. So any of these are available to you. You just need to punch your card. Not for all of them, but some of them. And the stalls that are selling food and drink, you would imagine need money for those. But yes, so you make your way in that direction as well. And actually, Mortimer will say, I can't remember what voice I did for Mortimer now.
Sorry.
It's very nice to see you again. Oh, thank you very much for the cup. It's very kind of you to bring that back to me.
Oh, well, it's yours, son.
Oh, well, not everyone brings them back, you see, and it's fine. If you want to keep it as a memento of the day, I'm more than glad for you to do it. We get given a lot of those things, so I have quite a few in stock at the back at my the main tent I have.
Oh, can I pay you? I'd feel bad just taking it.
Oh no! Well, I tell you what, keep hold of it, and if you want another cup of tea, come and buy a cup of tea, and we'll use the same cup again, and then you've paid for it, basically.
Oh, that sounds good. Could I have one now?
Of course you can. Yes. Do you want the same again?
Yes, please. It was
Honey
lovely.
tea? Perfect. Okay, well, give me that cup back, and I'll fill it in for you, and it's another 4 copper pieces, and he'll fill it up with another piping hot cup of honey tea for you.
Sneaky 5.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you indeed. And are you enjoying the events here today? Have you been on any of the rides so far?
I've been watching. It's been quite amusing. Yeah. I guess I should try something, shouldn't I?
Oh, of course. Well, each ticket gives you 6 rides, of course, but there are many things around here that you can partake in. Is there anything you like doing? Are you into this sort of competitive sports like the snail racing, or would you like something a bit more quieter and something you could just sort of do just on yourself?
Oh, could you tell?
Well, I see you sort of walking around here on your own. A lot of other people are with other people and their families, and you seem to be sort of keeping yourself, which is all well and good. sometimes it's nice to have your own space and get time to yourself. But in some of these events and things, you need to have one or two people together to kind of start them off. But there are, if you look at the big blue tent just to my left here, there's some games and things in there, I believe, that can be played on your own. So if you're looking at any of those things, or if you like any of the rides, there's a carousel just the other side of the big tent there.
Thank you so much. I'll try this one here.
Of course. And if you need anything else, then please come back, and we've got lots of other things you can try and eat. And there's one my daughter actually runs another tent just the other side, actually very close to the carousel. She's got other things on there as well, like sort of gifts and things like that. If you're looking for any presents for anyone or for yourself, so. But enjoy the rest of your day. Nice to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And what are you three doing up here in the snail race area?
Well, Sisven went down from the stands to Moira and Amaros and says, "Well done, both of you. Especially you, Moira."
Thank you very much.
So,
Yeah.
what's next?
Well, I don't know about you two, but I'm very hungry. And you also need to eat. And I point to Tisvan.
Yeah, true, I should.
And
I'm
you,
thinking you're
Amaros,
hungry?
too. You, Amaros, too, you need to eat. You have competed twice now.
I actually ate on the way here, but I am rather thirsty, so something to drink would actually be a good idea.
Then let's go find something to eat.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and when you follow the main path, which most people are leaving by going sort of south from your current position, you'll see there's various small tents that are littered around. They've got different stalls having different items of drink and food on there. And as you're sort of going there, you're kind of looking at some of the stalls. There's you're following on maybe with the other people that you saw were part of the race or that were sitting near you in the stands. There's the woman in green cloak. You see sort of having a conversation with a gentleman running one of the tents there with that seems to be dishing out various foods and drinks. There is as you go past, you'll see somebody who is sort of obviously an entertainer of some sort, walking up down the path there as you're going along, and they seem to be a sort of a juggler of sorts. But they actually are, rather than using their hands, they have their hair is in sort of long strands of braided braids, and each of the braids is actually sort of clasping on the end of it a lantern. And as they're walking along, smiling at the crowds, sort of handing out these sort of flyers, their hair is moving as if having a life of its own, almost like an extra appendage, and they're basically tossing these lanterns up and down and juggling them behind them back with their hair as they're walking along. And they'll come over and they'll probably see Moira, as you're sort of running over with Amaros and Tisvan as well, and they'll just sort of bend down and give you a flyer. And they say, "Oh, please make sure that you enjoy all of the festivities today. If you are hungry, if you are thirsty, there is currently a honey cake eating competition just towards the entrance. If you are looking for food at the moment, or enjoy the other festivities here, the wine, the food. Make sure you do not fill up yourself all day because you will miss out on other treats perhaps later on." And she will sort of give you a wink and carry on and handing flyers out to anyone. She probably gives one, tries to offload another couple on you, Amaris and Tisvan, as she carries on moving. And you just see these lanterns just sort of flicking, and children following behind her, trying to find out how this hair is moving on its own accord. She doesn't seem to be conscious of moving it herself. She's having conversations and she's handing out flyers, and the hair is just sort of moving on its own. But these lanterns don't ever seem to miss a beat. They're just being caught and moved around and twirled up in the air and being caught again. And she makes her way through past you.
competition. Moira grabs her glasses, puts them on, and reads, honey cake eating competition. I'm not very sure if that's healthy.
And the fly itself tells you that there's a competition that they held several times during the day, but it's essentially a competition where participants from the crowd are able to try and eat as many cakes as they can within 60 seconds, and then there'll be a prize for the winner who can stomach as many honey cakes as they can.
Yeah, I don't think that competition is much for me. I'm not one much for sweets.
I mean, I'd be happy to have a slice, but a full competition? To stuff my face? Probably not. I'm small. I can't eat much.
I do enjoy the sweets, but a full honey cake? That might be a little bit too much for me. I actually prefer honey as a drink.
I mean, I'm sure the cake's gonna be delicious, but I don't know. Anyway, food.
Okay, and so you're gonna, if you head to that same tent that you see Galatea, if you knew their name, the woman in green who was sitting near you, heading away from there, you'll see that there is a gentleman there who is currently selling a variety of food and drinks, and just get his description up again. So yeah, it's a halfling man who's this sort of short, stocky guy, bald on top, but has this big, bristly, dark moustache, wearing sort of a white shirt with his rolled up sleeves. And if he sees you coming over, he will say, "Hello, welcome. Can I get you anything to eat or drink?" You seem to have been enjoying a lot of the festivities. I can see you've got little pouches there of things you've won.
Oh yes, we would very much like some food.
Of course, that's what we're here for now. Are you looking for something sweet?
Would you happen to have anything of a proper meal?
Proper meal? We don't have
anything of the sort.
Well, we don't have. It's more of like snacks and things we have here, because we're sort of selling bits and pieces. Most people don't want to sit down and have a meal right in the middle of the carnival, because there isn't too many places to sit. But we do have a few like cakes and sweets and bits and pieces like that. I think perhaps later on there'll be food, but for the moment we just have sort of snacks and things you can easily carry around and eat with one hand.
Ah, well that's fair. What do you have?
Well, food-wise, we have a honeycomb cake that you can purchase. It's like a soft layered honey cake, and we have a little fondant bee that sits on the top of it. We've got pixie tarts, although they're not very filling, but they're sort of a sweet little treat that you can have. Or we have sugar glazed button mushrooms, which are very, very popular. And of course, we have fairy fluff as well.
What do you guys think?
I say let me treat you guys this time. So you guys pick. I will have a honey drink for me, thank you.
A honey drink? Okay, so we've got the warm honey tea. But if you're looking for something with a bit more kick to it, we've got sweet whiskey with a honey infused whiskey that we sell. That comes in a sort of a little glazed shot glass, which you're able to keep for the same cost. Or we have a hot spiced wine as well.
I'd say this is a bit too sweet for my taste, sadly. Unless you have anything more savory.
I'm afraid that's just the theme of the event. I'm afraid that's why we have so many things that are sweet, because it's the Faering Festival, you see, and the Fey creatures are want to have sweet and sort of candy-like things. That's the kind of their preferred food, as far as we know. That's what we've all been told. So unfortunately, if you want more of a sort of your breads and your meats and things, you'll probably have to wait till this evening, or maybe head back into town to one of the taverns for that sort of thing. But unfortunately, we just have, as I say, just the sort of the sweeter things and more nibbles and little glasses of drink that you can have during the day as you wander around. I think the idea for most of these people is that you'll be either indulging yourselves in more of the rides and things, and maybe picking up some food later on. But unfortunately, yes, nothing else like that. They're probably the hot spice wine is probably the least sweet thing that I have.
Okay. Which of the snack options is the least sweet? Then?
The least sweet. I suppose. Although they're sugar glazed, the button mushrooms are probably, because they're mushrooms, probably the least sweet. I mean, you could always kind of pick the sugar glazing off of them if you like.
Then I'll have a few of those and some of that mulled wine, please.
Of course. Okay, so the sugar glazed mushroom cups are 2 copper pieces for that, and 1 silver piece for the hot spiced wine.
I will also have the mushroom thing.
Mushroom, the sugar glazed mushroom buttons? Of course you can, yes. And what can I get you to drink?
Question for the DM. What time of year is it? Like,
So it's sort of early springtime.
okay. So still a little cold. Maybe.
Yeah, so that's why they have a sort of a spiced wine and things in there. So you've got some more warmer and sweeter drinks they have in there as well. Because it's sort of just at that cusp of going into summer, into sort of later sort of spring and summer, but it's still early on.
Yes, I will also have the mulled wine.
Spiced wine as well. Okay, no worries. And the wine is actually sort of a dark golden orange color, and it has a cinnamon stick, and it's presented in a wine glass that you could carry around. And Amoros.
I will also have 1 wine, please.
Just the wine?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 3 silver pieces for that, and then 4 silver pieces altogether. Oh, sorry. No, that's 2 copper pieces, isn't it? Sorry, 3 silver pieces and 4 copper pieces.
All right. And Amoros makes a gentle hand gesture, and all the coins just appear on the desk as he has kind of pulled them out of his pocket as they were talking, and just hid them in his hand while it was all being counted.
Right, perfect. Oh, thank you very much. I'll get those right for you now. And he just turns and he pours out some of the hot spice wine, and he puts the glasses out on the top and gets you the glazed candy mushrooms come in like a sort of a small little brown bowl, which you can just sort of pick them up from and carry them around. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Are you heading off in any particular direction? Anything that you've that's piqued your fancy?
Oh, we just finished the snail race, and I won.
Oh, well done indeed. Very, very good. Have you raced many snails before?
Oh no, this was my first time.
Oh, well, very good to hear. It's always nice when someone excels at something for the first time when they're doing it. So very well done. Did you win any prizes?
I got a potion of some kind.
Oh, lovely. Well, I'm sure that will help you in some way in the future. But yes, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, good sir.
Not the problem. And we will jump to Bula and Kane, who were on their way to the blue tent. So, yes?
By the sounds of it, on our way to the blue tent, Bula has caught wind of this competition, and she seems very excited about it.
Oh, the eating competition?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so you probably saw this character come past because they would have passed you before they got to the others with these flyers. And so, yeah, so you'll know, and she sort of probably pointed you in the direction, but just beyond the blue tent, there is a stage set up, and that is where the honey cake eating competition is going to be.
Well, you said that you wanted to win something, Bula. Did you want to give it a go?
I think I could win this one. Yes, please, Kane, please.
All right. I think I'll let you have a go at this one on your own. I've already eaten more than enough for the day, but I'll cheer you on.
Oh yes, I thought you wouldn't join me, but so long as you cheer me on, I'll be happy.
Of course. You've got to win at least one of these, right?
We've got to
Excellent.
make it even somehow.
Hmm.
And I would imagine, Galatea, you've probably been handed one of these flowers as you were coming down as well, just so that you're all aware of it. So if you carry on going down south, you will come to a stage. So there's a raised wooden platform stands in the center of this area with a big long table upon it. The table itself is like a white cloth covering it, which looks like it's sort of embroidered with like little honeybees along it. And there are 6 plates neatly laid out on the table. And at the end, there is a huge platter of honey cakes waiting to be enjoyed. And as you approach, you'll see there's a dwarf who comes up to you. There's some little steps going up, and there's actually a kind of a crowd of people sort of out the front there, and waiting for it to start. And it looks like he's getting things organised. He's quite distinctive. He's got this sort of very tall brown mohawk on top of his head, and a sort of regular sort of length, medium brown beard, but a very long moustache as well. And he's got a kind of a white apron on. Whether he's made the cakes or just protecting his clothes, you're not sure. But he looks out at the crowd and said, "Is there anyone here today who would like to come and have honey cakes? Would you like to see if you able to fill your tummy with as many honey cakes in 60 seconds? You can win yourself a fantastic prize. Anybody here who'd like to participate, please come back onto the stage."
Bula just runs up to the stage, no hesitation. She knows Kane's there waiting for her, so she runs.
He ran up.
Almost has to walk, but she's running.
Perfect. So he lets you come and says, "Oh, Lisa, can I have your name, please?"
Oh, I'm Bula.
Bula, you're the first contestant. Can you please grab yourself a chair and we'll start momentarily. We'll just make sure we get a few more people up on the stage, and then we can test your skills. Let's have a round of applause for Bula. And everyone's, hey! And Kane, you're going to watch this one, are you?
Yeah, he's going to sit this one out, but he's going to make sure he's front of the crowd. He can give some encouraging words to Bula.
Excellent. And he'll just stand at the front. And anybody else would like to come up here and take part? Anyone else who thinks they can beat this half-orc at eating honey cakes? We don't have many people to come up on stage. Perhaps I'll have to take up the challenge myself. And he'll just wait for a few minutes just to see if anybody else comes out the crowd. There's a few other people there. There's a couple of children who are telling their parents that they could probably eat enough, and the parents are telling them, look, listen, you've already had 5 pixie cups and glazed mushrooms, and you've already had this. You're going to be sick if you have any more. To their cries of wanting to try it. But they see this half-orc sitting up on the front, and they're like, there's no way you can do it. Come on. And they just drag them off towards another tent.
I'll turn to whatever civilian is next to me and just say, no one's going to beat Bula. She's got this in the bag.
And they nod, and the kids start crying as they're being taken away, and they're being promised candy floss if they shut up for another 5 minutes. All right, so we'll just check on the rest of you before we start the next game. So, Galatea, you're making your way down. Where are you heading?
To the tent Waterman talked about.
To the blue tent here?
This one.
Yeah, okay, no worries. So, as you come up to that tent there,
Is the entrance?
Sorry?
Is this the entrance?
There's 1, 2, 3 entrances.
Cool.
So any of these ones you may enter by.
Pick this one.
Excellent. So in this area, this whole tent area, there seems to be multiple like games, side show games that are in here, and there is a goblin in the center who is currently talking to the crowd and asking people who would want to play any of the particular games. So there are how many? 1, 2, 3. There are 4 different games in here. There is the Almirage Ring Toss. There is Catch the Dragon by the Tail. There's Goblin Wrestling. And there's Guess the Number of Feathers.
I think I will try and guess. Guess some feathers.
Guess the feathers? Okay, perfect. So, so if you sort of make your way towards sort of the front there, there's this a goblin with long braided hair that's sort of dyed red, and he's got these sort of very wide brown eyes, and he's quite tall for a goblin. He stands sort of above the children's heads quite easily, and he's got quite a sort of a toned build. He's got this carnival wear on with a yellow waistcoat and white sort of pinstriped trousers, and he has a sort of like a cane of some sort in his hand, and he just welcomes you over, and you're heading towards the guess the numbers. And he says, step right up, and guess how many feathers festoon the fiendish fowl. You, my good lady, are you willing to have a go on this event? Do you think you can name how many feathers this fiendish fowl has?
I will give it a try.
Very well.
My ticket.
Yes, please. Let me punch your ticket for you, and he'll take the ticket and give it a quick punch. And so, the aim of this game is there are several fluffy cockatrices that are in this sort of cage, and by looking at them, you have to guess how many feathers one of these cockatrices have. And you see them sort of walking up and down inside this cage, looking out at the audience, making clucking noises. And you have 3 chances to guess how many feathers one of these cockatrices have.
Okay, so pick one, and then I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Basically, there are multiple ones in there just because if you guess right, then the next person who hears you in the crowd will know. So they have multiple in there. So they'll say, right, that one there with the red ring on its foot, I'll be guessing that one. So basically, you have 3 chances. It's a intelligence check, and you basically have to guess how many feathers you think the cockatrice has.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, so give me an intelligence check, please. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen when that happened. Let me do chat. 19. Very, very good. So how many did you guess?
Sorry?
How many feathers did you guess?
23.
23. Okay, so the goblin looks at the cockatrice and back at you, and he says, "Well, we have a winner! My goodness, this lady is able to count the feathers on the chicken in the blink of an eye. Congratulations, you have won yourself a prize. Please give me a D8 roll to see what you've won." Okay, so he pulls out from he gets his cane, and he holds it up to where the prizes are all sort of littered around this sort of prize area. He unhooks this cuddly toy, and he brings it down to you. And you've won a cuddly toy spider. As an action, you can stroke the spider to gain the benefits of spider climb. The spell lasts for 1 hour, and once used, the toy turns into a real spider and crawls away.
Love this so much.
So that's what you want. And he turns to you. Well, it's a very first time luck, or are you a magician of some kind that can tell the number of feathers on a chicken? Perhaps you would like to try one of our other games here.
I might as well.
What will it be? The Alamirage ring toss, the catch the dragon by the tail, or the goblin wrestling? Are you in for a bit of a physical experience?
I don't think that's my kind of thing. The ring toss sounds...
Of course. Well, the Alamirage here is no mirage. Adorn its horn with 2 or 3 rings to win a prize. And what you see in front of you, there is a wooden statue of a bunny-like creature that has a long golden horn in the center of its head. And essentially you have 3 rings. You have to get on 2 of the 3 to win a prize. 1 ring won't be enough. And the little statue teleports around this table, and you have to basically try and guess where it's going to be and throw the ring over it. And I say, just 1 more punch of your ticket, please.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and he'll punch you on, and he'll hand you 3 gold rings, and he waves his hand over the Almirage, and it starts teleporting across the table.
Okay.
So you need to make a dexterity check to see for each of the rings to see if they will go over.
Okay. Ring number 1.
Oh, so everybody, you throw the first ring, and it sort of goes to where the Almirage is, but just as it starts to go over the horn, it teleports and it moves about a foot over to the left, and the ring just goes across the table. Oh, what a shame. So close. Perhaps next time. 2 more rings to go.
Throwing another.
Oh, the second one, the same thing happens. It looks like it's going to go over, but the Almirage just teleports just at the last second, and it goes scattering the table. Ah, what a shame. I mean, you can still throw the last ring if you like, but you need 2 to win. But perhaps the practice will give you good for another turn.
Yeah, I would just try this last one.
Okay. Cool. And then with that third toss, yeah, you preempt that where you're throwing it isn't going to be quite where the bunny's going to be, and you throw it just to the left, and it teleports, but right underneath the ring, and it lands straight over the top. Ah, look at that. Well done. Well, you just need to do that twice in a row, and then you will win a prize. But unfortunately, this time we do not have a winner. Would you like to have another go?
I think I'm okay, but thank you. This
No.
was...
Never mind. But and then he turns his attention to another group of children and says, anyone else for another go at the ring toss? And then
Smile immediately drops as I leave.
okay. Awesome. And right, so the other 3 of you, what are you doing as you're eating and drinking?
This one would have gone to the side, like right around here by the tent, and just sat down to enjoy the small meal.
Okay.
Me too.
Are you doing the same,
I
Amaras?
wonder what the I wonder what the big tent is for.
I'm kind of curious about that too. Why don't we check that out next?
Sounds good.
Okay.
There's
So
so many things to do in this place. It's a bit overwhelming if you think about it.
and are you guys going to sit and have your food there and drink there first?
Yeah,
I would say so,
I think
yes.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right.
And just Tisvan is picking the glazing off of the mushrooms.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just like a kind of a shell essentially around the sugary glaze is sort of like can be cracked off, and it's just the sort of like baked mushroom underneath essentially. But okay. Well, we'll hop back then over to Bula, who is currently waiting for the cake eating contest to start, and the dwarf be looking out into the crowd and say, have we got any more people who would like to come and join this lovely half-orc and trying to eat as many of the honey cakes as you can. There's a grand prize in it if you manage to succeed, but I can understand if your tummies are a little bit too full from the other sweet treats that you've been having during the day. But we need at least another couple of people to join. You sir, you in the armour, you sure you won't join your friend up here on the stage? And he looks down at you, Kane. Now, I'm sure you'd be able to best her.
He kind of looks down at his stomach, and then he looks at Beulah and kind of like kind of raises an eyebrow.
You sure I can't tempt you? These honey cakes are very, very sweet, but it's if you can manage to balance enough in your tummy, you might be able to win yourself a prize. And who knows, if you know it, you look like you knew each other. If the both of you are having a go, then at least one of you might be more likely to win, and you'd have a prize between you.
I think Kane will kind of roll his eyes, but he'll start making his way up onto the stage, kind of muttering to himself, tomorrow will have to be nothing but savoury.
Yeah, I think the dwarf has probably clocked your sigil that you have. That's why I mentioned the balance. Aye, that's all right. You can come up here. You wouldn't want the stage to be unbalanced, would you?
I think in Dwarven, Kane will say to him, yeah, I get it. I'm coming up.
He gives you a smile and a wink. Aye. That's right. Sit down. Is there anybody else who'd like to join? See how many cakes you can stuff into your face and win a prize.
Galatea just making themselves very small up against the
Okay. Well, we better get things started because it seems like we've got enough people now. So there's a few other people in the crowd that will come up. A few portly-looking gentlemen who come up and take a couple of chairs. There's one teenage boy who looks a little bit kind of skinny. You're not really sure how many cakes he could probably eat. And then there's another gentleman who comes up. He's got this sort of blue skin. He stands out quite a lot compared to the other humans and other creatures here. He's got this sort of white hair tied back in a bun, and sort of this beard that sort of floats as if it's sort of made of cloud, perhaps, that sort of waves off his chin. And he comes and he takes up the last seat on the stage as well. The dwarf comes along, and you might recognise him, Galatea. Eddie sits down at the table, and the dwarf walks behind everyone and says, "Oh, right, here you go." And he starts tying basically like a sort of a handkerchief or a bib around you, around the back, so you've all got something covering your shirts. And he'll go along, and he says, and as he does that, he says, "The goal, my friends, is simple. You have 60 seconds in which to eat as many honey cakes as you can, and the winner will receive a wonderful surprise." And he goes down the end, and he gets to Eddie at the end, and he gives him a pat on the shoulder. Perhaps they know each other, or perhaps he's just giving him a friendly, like a pat, just to sort of encouraging him. He was the last person to come on bottom of the stage. And he says, I hope you've all got space in your tummies to start with and haven't had too much sweet things to begin with, but let's see how you go." So, the way that this game works is that dependent on your constitution modifier will determine how many cakes you can eat comfortably without taking honey damage or feeling sick, in other words. So, let's see. So you can safely eat 3 plus your con modifier. So what is your con modifier, Galatea? Oh, sorry, Bula.
Mine is +2.
+2? Okay, so that means you can eat 5. You can eat 5 cakes before you have to make any rolls. And Kane, what's your con modifier?
Also 2.
Okay, so you can eat 5 cakes as well. All right, so let's have a look at the others. All right, so now you can eat 1 cake every 3 seconds, and this lasts for 60 seconds. So that means that each of you can last for 15 seconds. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you'll be able to get to your maximum amount of cakes that you can eat safely within 15 seconds. For every 3 seconds after that, you'll have to make a Constitution save in order to try and eat another cake on top without being sick or slowing down, essentially. So each time that you fail, you will have to roll a d8 and take a d8 honey damage, which will count against your HP, but it won't actually hurt you. It's just a way of keeping track of it, essentially. If you're reduced to 0 HP, it means you can't continue, and you basically are too stuffed. Go on. So, the contest begins, and everybody's grabs for a honey cake, and you start stuffing these cakes into your mouth, the honey dripping down your chin, and these cakes are not very big. They're kind of like just a little bit smaller than your fist, but they do have this honey glazing on it, which means it's very sticky as well. So when you start sticking them in your mouth as well, it's sort of dribbling down your chin, and they have these little fondant bees on the top, which you can kind of eat or throw away. It doesn't matter. It's the cake that makes the difference. So everyone starts very well. After the first 12 seconds, most people have got to a point where they're starting to get a little bit full. They've stuffed about 4 cakes in by their mouth. By the time you get to the 15-second mark, one of the NPCs is struggling a little bit. Let me give them a quick roll to see how they do. Not very good. Okay, so they're going to take a d8 of damage. Where's the d8 on here? Oh dear. Okay, so they get to round 15. They don't manage to eat another cake currently, so they are still waiting. Bula, could you give me a Constitution saving throw to see if you can stuff another cake in your mouth? So we go into round 6. Excellent. Yes, so you managed to stuff another cake in as well. Well, you actually get one every. Yeah, so you're now at 6 cakes at the moment. You managed to eat, and you're still going strong. The blue-skinned guy at the very end seems to be comfortably eating the cake. He puts the 6th one in his mouth, and he seems to be perfectly okay and continues to eat. Kane, could you please make me a Constitution save?
Okay. There we go.
Oh, very good. Excellent. So you eat a 6th cake as well. So the blue gentleman and Bula seem to be having no problem eating this 6th cake as well, stuffing another one in. Okay, and we've got 2 other people. The skinny boy. Let's see how he does. Yeah, he does all right. So he eats a 6th cake. He's doing okay. And then let's do the bigger guy. And he just about stuffs in another cake as well. Okay, so only... oh, actually, I need to roll for that first guy because that was his other round. Right, let's go back to the first guy. Oh, dear, no. Another round, and he takes more damage. I think this guy's probably going to be out. Yes. Okay, the one of the guys who'd gone up there, who was boasting he was going to eat the most cakes, he gets to 18 seconds. He's eaten 4 cakes. He's been trying to stuff in a 5th one, but it just hasn't been going in, and he raises his hand, and he is out. Okay, so So for the next round, we get to about 21 seconds. Bula, could you please make me a Constitution save, please, as you go for a 7th cake? Yeah, you managed to make it. So you stuff another cake into your mouth. 7 cakes currently being eaten by Bula. You're starting probably to slow down a little bit because it's a lot of chewing involved in it, but you stick another one in. You've got honey dripping down your chin now, probably at this point. Okay, so we've got the blue skin gentleman. Let's see, he's gonna have to make a roll to see if he can get another cake in his face. Yep, he stuffs another one in. He kind of looks down the table at you, Bula, gives you a little smile, and he pops another cake into his mouth, matching yours. Ain, could you please make me a Constitution save? Lovely. Yep. Not willing to lose, or not willing to unbalance this. The three of you. You have another cake, and you keep all at the same level. Right, skinny guy. Let's see if he can fit another cake in his gob. Yep, he does. He continues as well. Even for this thin frame that he is, he's somehow managing to put these cakes somewhere. Perhaps he has hollow bones. We don't know. And the last, more rotund chap, how's he doing? Oh dear, he is flagging. He hasn't done very well. Let's see. He's going to take some honey damage, unfortunately. Okay, yep. So he is struggling on his 7th cake. Right, as we go into the next round, we're getting to about 24 seconds at the moment. Bula, could you see if you can cram in an 8th cake? Oh dear, okay, so when you get to that 8th cake, you're starting to flag a little bit. You've got a little bit more space, you try and sort of squeeze your tummy a little bit, try and get everything to kind of go down. You're not happy, you're struggling on that one. Can you please roll me a d8? Because you're going to take some honey damage from feeling a little bit too full. Okay, only 1 point though, so that's good. What's your current health anyway?
My current health is 14.
Okay, all right, that's fine then. So you're only down by 1, so you can keep going. Yeah, you're starting to feel like a little bit like slowing down, but you're still going. So, you don't manage to eat that 8th one, but you're struggling. So on this round you don't quite eat it, but you're still continuing. Okay, the blue skin chap. Let's see how he does this time. Yep, he pops another cake in his mouth. Yep. He eats that 8th cake. You can see him sort of loosen his belt a little bit, but he's eating another cake, so he's 1 cake ahead of you now. Pain. Okay, you pop an 8th one into your mouth, and you carry on eating. For some unknown reason, you thought you were full before, but these honey cakes don't seem to be filling you up as much as you thought they were, and there's still a little bit more space in there, so you effortlessly eat the 8th cake. Right, skinny chap, let's see how he gets on. He just about gets it in. Yeah, he's up to 8 as well. He just about managed to eat this other cake. He looks like he might be slowing down a little bit as well. And let's see about the last guy. No, he does. He's trying to get this 7th cake in his mouth, and he's not able to. Oh, that's the wrong dice. He's not able to do it. And yeah, and unfortunately, he tries to squeeze in. He's pushing the cake in his lips. He's trying to pull his lips apart, but his body is actively fighting against him, and he just spits out the last of the cake in his mouth and raises his hand, and he is also out of the running. Okay, we come into the 27th second of this match, and Bula, you were struggling with the 8th cake. Let's see if you can manage to eat it. Unfortunately, Bula, you're still struggling. You can't quite get this cake to go in your mouth. It's sort of starting to repeat on you a bit. You don't think this honey's it's making it harder or slower to swallow, and you're tearing little pieces off and just trying to swallow them bit by bit, but it's costing you precious seconds. Could you please roll me a d8 for honey damage? Oh dear, 8 points of honey damage this turn, unfortunately. Okay, what are you down to now?
5.
5. Ooh, okay. You can ask me, yeah, Trapdoor, if you're gonna try and throw the thing, are you?
I'll wait and see what I roll. If I
Okay.
feel like I'm pulling ahead, I might just stop eating and encourage Bueller instead.
All right, no worries. Okay. So we'll go back to Eddie. Let's see how he does. Oh, it was 6. Oh, Eddie sees you flagging, and he himself is now starting to slow down as well. He doesn't quite manage to get this cake in his mouth this time. He's feels it just a little bit repeating on him as well, so he doesn't quite get a cake in this time, so he's still on 8. Kane, it's now your turn again.
I'm rolling too well.
So you stop another cake. Are you going to eat the cake?
I'll eat this last one.
Okay.
But then there's some hesitation, and I'll
Alright.
kind of check on how Bueller's doing.
So you put this cake into your mouth. You're now 2 cakes ahead of Bueller currently. And you see the Genasi chap by the side of you is slowing down as well. But yeah, Bueller is still struggling on that 8th cake currently. All right, skinny chap. Let's see how he's doing. Yep, he manages to eat another one, so he's up to 9. He's neck and neck with you, Kane, at the moment. And the last chop was already out. So we go into the 27th second. Bueller, it is you again. Please make me a Constitution saving throw. See if you can get this 8th cake down. Hey, there we go. So yeah, so finally you get by tearing that last cake up, you finally manage to get all the bits into your mouth, and you now have 8 cakes within your stomach. You're 1 cake behind the others, but you're ready for when we get to the next round. Okay, now we have Eddie again. See how he does. Yeah, he manages to get that next one in, and he's up to 9. So he's managed to get that last cake in. So he's 1 cake ahead of you, Bueller. Kane.
Should I roll if I'm deliberately slowing down?
If you don't have to roll, if you want to automate to not eat it, if you want to fail yourself,
I'll skip a turn.
Okay, all right. So you look down and you sort of see Bueller and the others still eating along, but you sort of make out, you sort of start nibbling at the corner and don't quite get a whole cake eaten this particular round. So you remain on 9, but you don't take any damage because you're not actively eating it, so you're not taking any damage. So you remain on 9 for this round. Okay, skinny guy. Let's see how he's doing. Somehow he is still plowing away at these cakes, even though he seems to be the slightest of frame. Until this round, he's starting to struggle a little bit. Let's see how much honey damage he takes. Oh my god, he took maximum. He is out. He has finally met his match. This last cake he tried to stuff in, and his body immediately repelled it from his system. And you just see him cover his mouth very quickly as honey just starts leaking out of his mouth and around his hand, looking like he's going to puke up in any moment. And he raises his hand, and he is out. So there is only 3 of you left in it. Bueller, Kane, and Eddie. You are currently going. So as we get into the halfway mark, we're only at 30 seconds currently. Bueller, could you make me another roll? Oh, I bounced off of the 12. Unfortunately, you swallowed that last cake bit by bit, and you go to grab the 9th cake, and you could just feel it, kind of the pressure building within your tummy, and you just you're holding it down, and you're struggling to put that bit of cake into your mouth. Physically, your body is trying not to put any more into it. Could you please roll me a d8 for honey damage? Oh no, you only had 5 left. And unfortunately, Bueller, you feel like any second now that honey cake is going to be coming back up again, and reluctantly, you wanted to win so badly, you cover your mouth and raise your hand up into the air, and unfortunately, you are out. Eddie goes for One more cake. Let's see if he can eat it. It's a 6 again. I keep thinking it's a 9. And he, unfortunately, no. He cannot take the pressure. He sees you looking like you're about to bring back up what you've eaten, and that then spurs him to also feel the same way. And he looks at the cake in front of him, and he just feels himself begin, and he can't make it this time. He takes...
You can do it, Eddie.
Oh no! Unfortunately, he takes maximum, and Eddie puts his hand up as well, calling himself out, leaving Kane. And although you were the only one still eating, everybody else is out, and so the dwarf calls the end of the competition only after 30 seconds. He didn't even quite get to the 60-second mark, but seeing as everybody else has now fallen by the wayside, he calls the end of the competition, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner!" And he grabs your arm and holds it up, and the crowd cheer, and everyone's cheering you on. Those of you at the table that haven't been knocked out or haven't had enough cakes to kind of completely knock you out, sit there, clenching your stomachs, feeling very, very full, and probably glad to get up from this chair and walk this honey cake meal that you've had off. But the dwarf comes over to you and Kane and says, and as promised, our winner shall receive a special prize. And he holds out a beautiful blueberry cupcake that seems to shimmer in the sunlight. And he holds it in front of you. And he can see your face and the faces of everybody at the table who've just stuffed all these cakes into their faces. And you see them sort of like almost holding back another kind of, the look of seeing any other food. And he says, aye, it's a cupcake, yes, but no ordinary cupcake. For you see, when eaten in full, you will become invisible. And this cupcake is essentially the same as a potion of invisibility. And we'll have to look up what the exact details of that are, but essentially, if you eat it, you will become invisible for a short period of time.
Very generous of you, my dwarven friend, but could I possibly take it to go? I don't think I could eat another cake.
Of course. No, I don't expect you to eat it now. You wouldn't want to waste the magic. No, take it with you. It's magically imbued, so it won't spoil. You can have it whenever you like. But take it with you. Don't eat it now. Please, everyone leave off the stage before you're sick. Thank you very much. But well done, everybody. Let's have another round of applause for our contestants. And he claps his hands, and everybody else sort of cheers, and the contestants all sort of get up, and the blue-skinned gentleman sort of turns to you, Bula, and just sort of pats you on the back, and he says, well done. That's very close game. But, well done. I almost had you, but I think I'm just gonna lay down for a little bit. And he'll make his way off of the stage.
Could I possibly cast a spell?
Sure. What spell would you like to cast?
Could I just use Healing Word on Beulah and see if it makes her feel a little better?
Yeah, she hasn't lost any hit points as such, but you could use it if you want to, to try and make her like not feel as sick or as full.
Yeah, basically, just to try and it's like a painkiller
for
her poor stomach.
Yeah, sure, you can do that, yeah.
I'll have to remember how to cast spells in Foundry.
That's fine. You click on your character first, and then you'll get the options.
Okay. On my character, my spell book, Healing Words, creature of your choice that you can see regains hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which is 2.
Hey Beulah, so you feel this sort of wave go over you, and that uncomfortable feeling of all these cakes that you've shoved into your face lessens, and you feel full, but you don't feel that kind of almost going to vomit feeling of having shoved that much cake, or that indigestion that you would have felt from eating all that cake very, very quickly.
Oh, thank you, Kane. You are too kind to me.
Well, I didn't want you to, feel like you were going to hurl as we walked across the carnival. It's the least I could do, but quite an interesting prize I got.
It was, and I'm so glad you won.
I'm glad too, but I was hoping that it would be you, really.
I mean, I only wanted to win for you, but you won instead, so it's fine.
Well, maybe if you'll find better use for it, you could have the cupcake.
Oh no, you keep it, but how about instead you pick the next activity for us?
Well, it looks like a lot of people are going towards the big tent. Might be a nice place to sit down and let these cakes get through our system.
Oh well, then do lead the way.
All right then.
Excellent. And as everyone leaves the stage, Galatea, you will see Eddie, just sort of walk off the stage and sort of head back into the sort of the crowd again, just by the
I'm gonna rush over and sort of try and support him a little bit and give him a water skin.
All right, yeah. He'll see you and say, pleasure to see you, Galatea.
You did really well.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't usually get involved in quite so many contests like that before, but I tried my best. I wanted to make sure there was a full stage there for everybody. Thank you. The water skin will help move this through.
Oh, no,
But I look kind of foolish up there. I've got a lot of honey. You sort of put his hand through his wispy beard, and it sort of gets a little bit sort of sticky. And he's like, "I'll wash this out a little bit later on."
You're fine.
But are you having fun there at the carnival?
Yes. It's a little overwhelming, but I got this. I'm gonna show him my little spider thing.
And so he'll look down and go, "Oh, very, very cute indeed." Yes. Yeah, I'm surprised to see you here after our conversation before. You must be feeling a little bit more relaxed, I suppose.
Well, the town is doing this, so I'm doing this.
It's nice to see you here.
It's nice to see you. I didn't expect you.
Well, when the town is involved in something so important as this, it's nice to get involved when I can, and it's nice to leave the bookshop at least now and then, just to kind of get out. One of my employees has had some bad news recently, and I thought it might be good for them to get out today. So I haven't seen them yet, but I'm sure they're around here somewhere. I'm just checking to see if they're all right.
The girl. Oh, what's her name?
Her name was. Let me think. Ideneth.
Come again?
Ideneth.
Oh, Ideneth. Oh yeah. I think I saw someone earlier. But the crowd keeps moving.
Yeah, there are a lot of people here today. I'm sure I'll find her around here somewhere. I thought it would maybe good for her to get out and into the fresh air with other people today. There's sometimes sitting alone is not the best that you can do. Sometimes it's better to be with other people. Other people can inspire you to turn to the side of thinking about life and the continuation of it rather than dwelling on the negative things in our lives. But the only negative thing I'm thinking at the moment is my stomach. So I'm going to just have a little sit down for a bit. You're more than welcome to join me in, unless you are enjoying any of the other festivities. Have you tried many of the rides?
Let's go sit and I'll tell you.
Very well. And he will take you. Where can you go to sit? You can probably sit down, probably back over here where the food cellar was. There's a couple of tables and chairs that look like mushrooms that you can kind of sit on over there.
Where?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, yeah.
Over here, yeah. So you as you pass, you probably see the winner of the snail race, and the first and second place as you pass by, that you saw earlier that you were sitting next to as you pass the main tent. Let me just check, Moni, time-wise, are you okay to continue a little bit until the hour, or are you flagging?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we can continue. No
Yeah.
worries.
You let me know if you get, because I know it's later there for you.
It's okay.
Okie dokie. Okay, well, let's go back to you three. Having had time to eat and drink your beverages, what would you like to do now?
I think we'd be pretty much done with our foods at this point.
Question: do I see Eddie when he walks by?
Yeah, probably, yeah. It's quite sort of small, the pathway through here, and being that he is a genasi and there aren't that many around that you've seen, he probably will catch his blue skin quite easily in the crowd, and he'll just be walking past with. Did you see or speak to Galatea at any point when you were sitting
I
here?
saw them, but we basically just nodded towards each other.
Right. You'll see him, and you'll just happen to see that. Oh, that looks like the same person I saw earlier today with him as well. As they pass by, yes, will.
So I'll just call out to Eddie, see if I can get his attention.
Sure, yeah. I don't think you need to make any particular roll for that. As you're passing, you'll be able to call his name out, and he'll turn
Backing.
and say, "Oh, hello. Nice to see you here."
Same. Are you looking for Iduneth by any chance?
Oh, as it happens, I am. Yes. Have you seen her today?
I spoke to her briefly over by the big beetles, the bumper beetles earlier.
Oh, are they the other side of the tent over there?
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, okay. Apologies. Let me introduce a friend of mine, Galatea.
Hi.
This is a mutual friend, I think. This is Tisvan. And
Pleasure
I'm
to
sorry,
meet
I
you.
don't know your companions.
Of course. This is Moira, and this is Amaros that I met just a few days ago.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to
sir.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And have you spoken to Iduneth? How is she doing this morning?
She's still very down and asked, well, at least me to leave her alone, but hopefully you can get her to open up a bit more.
Yes, I will try. I encouraged her to come here today. She didn't want to, but I encouraged her to come here and hope that she could speak with people here and just enjoy the laughter and the people here. I knew that this energy here might be good for her, but I will check on her. And you just see him sort of cover his mouth for a second. But I'm going to just have a quick sit down first, and then.
Are you all right?
Yeah, that's fine. I overindulged a little bit, shall we say?
Eating competition.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
And
All right, yeah.
you see his blue skin sort of almost goes a little bit sort of purplish on the cheeks, where his slight freckles are. For a moment, as he sort of see he's a little bit embarrassed about stuffing his face with the cakes. But yeah, he's yes, Just wanted to get.
Will reach his hand over, lay it on his shoulder, and use one point of lay on hands. See if that might help him a little bit.
Excellent. Yeah, and he feels that sort of similar to Bula, kind of like warmth go through his body, and it just settles his stomach a little bit. And he said, thank you. Yes, that does feel better. I feel a little bit more. I don't think I'll be doing that again anytime soon.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yes. Now I just need to get this honey out of my beard somehow. And we were just going to take a seat over here, just have a little bit of rest. But I will head over there in a minute to the beetle and see if I can find Idna and see how she's doing. I'm sure you'll like to see a friendly face.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
Have a good rest of your day, Eddie. And
Thank you very much.
Galatea.
Yes, and same to you as well. And perhaps we'll see you later.
Hopefully.
And and Eddie.
Friend of yours, this one?
I've known Eddie for a few years at this point. He's basically the boss and very close friend to my other friend that I spoke to earlier.
I see.
So, were we heading into this big tent, or?
I mean, yes.
I mean, that was the plan.
I see.
And let's head on over.
And we head on over to the big tent.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, as you head over to the big tent, you'll see inside there is an arrangement of seating, very similar to the snail racer you heard earlier. Inside, there's a big ring within the center of it, and you'll see that there's a board outside the front that says that there is going to be a show of various acrobats and clowns and jugglers and all sorts of things that will be happening at midday, and then in the evening there will be another event at the stage just outside of the main tent where Madame Katrina will be performing some kind of show for everybody as the evening progresses. But the main show seems that it would be happening maybe in the next hour or so.
Do we want to wait around here, or do we want to go find something else to do?
I think I at least would like to wait. I think something. It is in the center of the carnival, so I think words are difficult sometimes. Burp. I think there might be some sort of main event, maybe.
Then I guess we can just relax around here until it starts, if that's what you two want to do.
I think I'm gonna check out the tent next to it one just to see what's going on. I'll be coming back within the hour if you guys want to just stay here.
All right.
Cool. And so you're going to head to the blue tent?
Yes.
Cool. And Kane and Bula, are you heading in that direction, or where are you heading at the moment?
We were heading for the big tent.
The big tent? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you'll probably cross paths with Amoros then as he's coming across.
Amoros, how are you finding the festival?
Finding rather enjoyable. Thanks for asking. How are you two doing? You look slightly pale, Bull. Are you all right?
Oh, just too many cakes. Don't mind me.
I think.
Oh,
I think
you partake in the cake eating thing.
I did, but Kane won.
Hey, well done, man.
You just notice these, like, he's tried to scrub as much of it off as he could, but there's just sort of strings of honey in his goatee. And he'll look a little embarrassed when he says, I guess I was hungrier than I thought, but I don't think I want to look at another dessert until at least the end of the week.
My older sister used to always tell me that even if you think you're full, there is such a thing as a dessert stomach. So there's always room for something.
I think that today I discovered my fourth.
That's nice.
And I don't
where are you
think that
today,
I
by the
want to discover it again. We're headed for the big top.
Ah, my friends are over there. I was gonna check out this tent over here, and then I was gonna join them.
Winner! We have another winner! You hear coming from the tent that you was pointed to.
Looks like they have competitions. You wanna try something?
Well, this could be a chance for you to win something, Bula.
Bula just looks at you with so much joy. There is just no words. She just looks at you with joy, and you can see the shit-eating grin that she's got going on. She's just so happy.
Yeah, I think Kane doesn't even need an answer. He just starts walking in that direction with Amaros.
Perfect. And as you approach this tent and head inside, you will see, multiple what looks like carnival games that are set up in different areas within this large tent. And there seems to be a reasonably tall goblin with this yellow waistcoat and sort of long red braided hair, who carries a cane and is currently sort of explaining the rules of these different ones. But you can see that there seems to be 4 different games. There is the Almirage ring toss, which looks like you have to sort of throw hoops over a statuette of basically an Almirage is like a bunny with a golden horn, a bit like a unicorn, that teleports around that you have to throw rings over. There is Catch the Dragon by the Tail, where you need to catch the tail of a fairy dragon to win a prize. There is Goblin Wrestling, and there is a Guess the Number of Feathers, where you have to guess how many feathers there are on a cockatrice.
Bula is just going to make a beeline for this goblin wrestling.
Excellent. And yeah, you see there's a ring, a small ring that's been set up, and there's currently several muscular looking goblins who are just sparring at each other and trying to sort of put each other in like locks and holds, and one wears sort of blue leather shorts, another one wears red. And as you approach, this goblin in the waistcoat comes over, sees you approaching, and he says, Welcome, strong folks, test your mettle in the Goblin Wrestle. Would you like to see if you can compete against these amazing athletes?
Oh, I would like to test my strength, please.
Very well. So, you are a medium-sized creature, aren't you? So, because you're a medium-sized creature, that means you will have to wrestle 2 goblins at the same time, but you only have to pin one of them. So you'll just have to like put up the other. And because there are 2 of them, they'll get to roll their strength test with advantage because there are 2 of them. Like basically, you've got a contested roll to see if you can pin them before they can pin you. If you'd like to play, then bring your card, and I will punch a hole.
I very fervently throw my card in front of him. I'm so excited.
Perfect. So he punches a hole. So you've done the beetle bop, the snail race, the cake eating, and now this. So you've got 4 holes now, I think.
Yeah, it's 4 holes now.
Yeah. So you've got 2 left. Amaros, you've done 3 things, haven't you? So you've used 3. Kane, you've done 3 as well, haven't you, so far? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so, Ula, if you would like to take up this challenge, you get your hole punched, and this will be a contested strength check. So you will need to pin one of these goblins. So you make a strength check, athletics check, and I make one with advantage because we've got 2 goblins who are attacking you at the same time.
Okay, so do you want me to just do the athletics check now?
Yes, so just roll me an athletics check, and then I will roll for them, and the highest number will win. Oh dear. Okay.
And he loses.
Okay, here we go. Oh, not very good though. They got an 8, so you do win. So, you jump over, and what are you going for? How are you going to pin these one of these goblins?
She's gonna kind of clumsily grab his face, I guess.
So when you jump over and you try and grab them, you didn't realize they're to make them look better. They've kind of oiled themselves up a bit. And so when you jumped over and you started grabbing them, you didn't realize how slippery they were going to be. And so you've sort of fumbled in your strength check to kind of like get them. You have managed to kind of get hold, but you're kind of holding more onto their shorts than their actual body because they're a bit slippery. And equally, they are trying to grab you, but because they've greased up their hands as well as the rest of their body, then finding it difficult to get purchase on your body too. And because you've also still got honey all over you from the contest, it's just a very kind of a sloppy kind of wrestle on the floor of everyone sort of falling over. It's a little bit awkward. The people who are watching you are kind of not as impressed perhaps maybe as some of the other wrestlers who have got in there and just bam, pin the goblin in one go, or vice versa. But you do manage to eventually pin one of them underneath your arm, and they tap out before they can kind of get you over. But it was a bit of a hodgepodge. But regardless, you still managed to pin the goblin and win. And the goblin looks as well. We have a winner, I guess. Please, what prize would you like? And do you want to roll a d8 for me? And we can select the prize for you. A 5. Look. So he lifts up his cane and he goes to the side. And he takes down a replica unicorn horn that is filled with candy. So it's like a plastic horn that's filled with multicolored candy that's inside it for you to enjoy.
She kind of looks at it, and then looks at Kane, and then notices Amaros stood next to him, and just thrusts it towards Amaros.
Oh, thank you. Didn't you want to keep this yourself?
I can't do any more candy today. Please take it.
The goblin. The goblin.
I trade you this, and Amos pulls out the last bun that he purchased this morning. Because it's a little bit of a fair trade.
Thank you. That's very kind.
And the goblin will look around and say, "Can I interest anybody else in another round of goblin wrestling, perhaps? Or would you like to play another game?"
I would like to try either the ring toss or the Fey dragon.
Of course. The Owl Mirage is no mirage. Adorn its horn with 2 or 3 rings and win a prize. Or the catch the dragon by the tail, catch a fairy dragon by the tail, and win a piece of its hoard. What would you like to do?
I think I will start with the ring on the Mirage. Thank you.
Okay, so he'll take your card, give it a punch, and he will hand you 3 gold rings. And you will need to make a dexterity check, and you need to get 2 out of these 3.
All right, first one is 17.
17, yep. So you throw the ring over, and although the Almirage teleports, your ring just manages to catch on the top of its golden horde, and it spins all the way down the body, landing at the base, and you've got 1 success.
Second one is a 7.
A 7? Unfortunately, that one goes wide. You actually, the ring actually goes across the table and bounces and falls off the other side. 1 ring left.
Nat 20.
Natural 20, excellent. With the last one, you flick it across, and the crowd gasp as they see it effortlessly fly over and land perfectly without even touching the statue. It lands right over the top. Winner, winner, winner! Where's my sound? Winner, 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 chicken dinner. Yes, we have another winner. Congratulations. 2 rings. Successful. Please give me a D8 roll.
A 2.
A 2. Okay. He uses his staff. He pulls a wooden box down from hanging up high above the stall, and he hands it to you. And inside the wooden inside the box is a wooden wand. And this wooden wand has 8 charges. As an action, you can expend 1 of the wand's charges to cast the Prestidigitation cantrip. This one can't be recharged, so it's a single use, has 8 charges. Or sorry, it can't be recharged. So once its 8 charges are gone, it's gone.
I see. Thank you very much. This can be useful.
Can I tempt you in another game, perhaps? Perhaps the catch the dragon on the tail. Would you like to try and catch the tail of the fairy dragon?
Yeah. Let's give it a shot. No?
Sorry.
Or do one of you guys want to start a game first? Looking at Kane and Bulla.
I think that Kane would maybe have a glance over to guess the feathers.
Yeah, you can do that one if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you want to do the dragon tail first, or do you want to wait until after Kane's done their...
Yeah, I say we take turns, so let Kane do his first.
Step right up. Guess how many feathers festoon the fiendish fowl. Please, can I have your ticket, sir?
I hand it over to him.
Excellent. So he punches that. And so he shows you the cages. Then there you see several different cockatrices strutting around inside this large cage. And he says you have 3 chances to guess the number of feathers. And it's a intelligence check. Got three rolls you can make. You just need 1 to win.
Okay.
What was that?
14.
Oh, 14. And so how many did you guess?
50.
50. It says, I'm sorry. Very, very close, but not the winner today. You have 2 more chances, though. Try again, please. How many did you guess this time?
50.
He's the same number.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, no, as I said before, it's not 50. Please try a different number this time with your last chance. Uh, 13 is how many what do you guess this time?
51.
I'm sorry. You were so close, but unfortunately, no winner this time. But please feel free to come again and try your hand at another game.
He maybe looks a little sullen, but then he sort of steps back to the group and he says, "It must have been 49."
Okay, and it's we'll do another one last game for you, Amros, and then I think we'll probably, seeing as Quack has to go now, we'll probably finish up the session.
Sounds good.
So you're going to do the catch the dragon by the tail?
Yes.
Excellent. So you see a pretty red fairy dragon that sort of flutters around in this sort of stall, and it lands on a pedestal. And the idea of the game is you've got to catch the dragon by the tail. However, you have to wear a blindfold. But when the fairy dragon flutters around, it every now and again makes this sort of giggling noise. And so using your senses, you have to try and guess where it's going to be and quickly try and catch out there and see if you can catch it by its tail. You get 3 attempts.
Okay.
So go, please, can I have your card, sir?
Here you go, good sir.
He'll punch that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got one left, haven't you?
Yes, and I'm saving that for the big test.
Cool. Okay, no worries. Cool. So he punches your ticket, and he comes behind you, and he fastens a purple blindfold over your eyes, and then he'll stand you in the center of this sort of arena, and you'll hear him sort of let the fairy dragon go, and you'll hear it sort of flutter around you, and every now and again it makes a sort of like a little giggling noise, and that's your way of sort of trying to determine where it is. So you will need to make me a dexterity check to see if you can quickly grab out and catch the tail of this creature.
That is a 15.
A 15? So you hear the light sort of giggle as it goes past, and you go out and you feel the air move, but you don't quite grab anything. You just into the air. You have 2 more chances. Try again. Listen for the sound.
Just gonna ask, was he very specific with the rules for the game?
The rules are that you have to just grab the tail with the blindfold on. So other than not being able to see with the blindfold on your eyes, as long as you don't take the blindfold off, you're good.
Okay, then Kane. Amoros is gonna actually pick up the horn he got from Bua and grab one of the pieces of candy.
Yep.
And hold it out in his hand in hopes that the fairy dragon will actually land to take the candy.
Okay, all right then. We'll try that one. Give me an animal handling check.
19.
19. Okay, so you go to reach listening again, and then it suddenly occurs to you that perhaps you can lure it closer into you. So you put out the piece of candy on your hand, and you feel the air moving, or the wings flapping around your hand. You can sense that the dragon is closer to you now and is hovering above your hand, looking at the candy. Make me a dexterity check this time, but with advantage.
An 8 and a... Hold on, I need to roll that one. There we go. 18.
18? Yeah. So as you feel that that faint vibration or the flapping of the air above your hand, you feel the dragon kind of hovering around, interested in the candy, and at that moment you just whip your hand quickly and just manage to grab it by the tail just before it sort of wiggles out of the area, and you catch the end of the dragon, and you feel one of its feathers just pluck off in your hand, not hurting the creature but just coming away as it sort of flutters about, and you hear it giggling and then going back and landing on the side. That's the wrong one. Winner! Congratulations, using brains as well as dexterity. I like that. Congratulations, you have won yourself a prize. And he'll take off your blindfold, and you may roll a d8 now to see what prize you have got.
A 5, and Amoros is also gonna hold out the piece of candy to a dragon just for He's not gonna tease the dragon.
No.
He's
No.
actually gonna give it to him.
Yeah, it'll hop sort of onto your hand, and it'll greedily like gobble it up for you as well, and it enjoys it and makes a kind of like the sort of a low purring, giggling kind of noise as it does. Actually, roll the dice again, D8 again, because we've already had that one. Let's see if we get something different for you.
I'm gonna to roll that again because I rolled a 2, and I think we had that one before.
Yeah, you had the 2 last time. Yeah.
A 1.
1. Okay, then you need to roll me a D100, I believe. Let's see. On the table.
Let's see. I never actually had to experience the D100. It's a D100 as well as the D10, right?
Yeah, so it's the D10 and then the percentage dice.
$88.
88. Okay, so cool. So he takes down from the rafters again from the toys a random item for you, and he brings you down a candlestick with whose candlelight looks like a tiny dancing fairy made of fire when you light it.
It's a cute little thing.
So whenever you light this candlestick, it has like the little flame just looks like a little fairy that just sort of flutters there above the candle, but is made of flame.
Cute.
And it says, "Congratulations, well done, everybody. Can I introduce anyone for another game?"
I'd like to try and grab a fairy too.
Oh, of course, madam, of course. Please, may I have your ticket, and you will be able to have a go.
And I'll gently hand him the ticket.
Okay, and he'll take it. So how many punches is that for you now?
This will be the 5th.
That'll be the 5th. Perfect. Okay, so you and Amros have both got 1 now. Okay, perfect. So he punches that, and he has to get on a pair of little step ladders next to you, and to reach you to put the blindfold on. But he manages to put that little purple sash around there, and he'll sort of position you in place, and then he will set the little red fairy dragon fluttering off, and you hear it sort of fluttering around you and making this sort of little giggling noise as it passes you. I said, "Right, you have 3 attempts. Use your cunning, use your skill to try and catch the fairy by the tail. And you need to make me a dexterity check, please." $11. So so you hear the giggling noises go through, and you thrust your arm out, but not quite quick enough. You just feel the tail sort of slip through your fingers as you go through. Never mind. 2 more goes. Oh, same again. So you thrust out your other arm, and again you feel it just slip through your fingers at that last moment. That's all right. You have 1 more go. Listen for that giggle. Listen to the giggle, and then catch the tail. Oh no! 3 sets in a row. How's that possible?
Oh,
That feels unreal.
3 sets.
really?
How is that even possible? But yeah, unfortunately, the fairy dragon, you just feel it again. Last time. Slips through your fingers. Oh, I'm sorry. Not a winner today, but very good try. Please, everyone, a round of applause, please. And they people clap their hands, and he take the blindfold off your eyes again. Never mind. You have one more ticket punch, though, if you'd like to have another go. Or perhaps you'd like to wrestle another couple of goblins.
Oh, I'm saving that for later, but thank you.
Never mind. Well, it will be here all day if you prefer to come back later. Hey, who's up for another game? And he turns his attention to the other crowd members as they come along and other children who join. And I guess we'll leave it there for tonight. Thank you very much, everybody, for playing. I hope you enjoyed all the games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love how you're like this this group is buggered, I'm gonna give them a bunch of stuff so they don't die.
I know what you mean. They're just prizes at the fairs. Interesting.
Yeah, I see.
I'm starting to think Moira should have gone to do some of the games.
Well, when you're all a group
Hey,
together,
I
you'll be able to
have
share those things.
I have a potion of advantage or something.
You do, yes. You have a potion of advantage, and that allows you to have one roll of advantage on either abilities or saving or attacking rolls within that hour.
If I share my cupcake, do we both become translucent?
Unfortunately, you have to eat the whole thing.
Ah,
He said you have to have the whole thing in one go to be able to get the full effects. Unfortunately,
otherwise only your legs become invisible.
yeah, just a random part of you will become invisible. So you've got invisible arm, you've got invisible leg, you've got invisible torso. Just everyone but a part missing from them.
Together we are Voltron.
That's it.
Oh, damn it.
But yes, unfortunately, sorry, Bula, I had some rough rolls tonight.
Oh, Bula.
I think rough is an understatement. I think it's payback for all those good rolls at the start of our first session.
Yeah. You still did well. You still had some prizes. Still got a few things. And that prize, by the way, for coming last, that wasn't I do give it to you because of you and the magic wand and stuff as well. That just happened to be the prize that was the win for that part. So it just happened to be you. I thought it was quite ironic.
Exactly. It's ironic, and it was fate. It was fated to be mine because of my fake magic.
Exactly. But yeah, I was so glad that the goblins rolled so poorly on the wrestling, because I was like, oh man, you're the strong man. You can't lose this.
You know, if there was one thing to fail at, that was not it. We do not
I can just imagine how salty Bula would have been being overtaken by two goblins.
Oh, she would have been angry.
Oh,
if there
dear.
ever was a reason for Bula to use rage.
Well, I think we've probably got one more session in the carnival, but I think we will probably at the end of the next session, I think we'll probably get into the start of the campaign, as it were, as this is the kind of the fun bit before that gets on. So I was expecting this to probably go maybe 1 or 2 sessions, and I'm glad that everyone's having fun and doing it. But it's always the same when I try and write things down. It always ends up being far longer when you're actually trying to play it than you have in your mind for when you're actually reading through it and thinking, oh, this will be done in an hour. But
I'm amazed you managed to keep the one shot to one session. I've never managed to do that. That was a real feat.
Yeah, I mean,
Facts.
I think we're just lucky with as your progression. Well, I mean, I showed a couple of you one of the houses that you could have gone into. That I'd done the whole map for. There was a house that you could have explored, but you didn't go around the town. But I'm glad, because otherwise, we would never have got it all done in one go. So. But
absolutely.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming along. And I really enjoyed tonight. And hopefully there's a few other things left to do. But I think next time we'll probably get you to where you're going. Perhaps we'll get you into the crux of the story.
Oh,
I like this. I like it all.
But yes, we'll have to. Unfortunately, we'll have to be another 2 weeks until then. But it'll give us time to make plans, or for me to actually write the next part. So that's good.
And just so I don't forget, happy birthday in advance, Faye.
Oh, thank you very much.
Happy birthday next weekend.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
next weekend. Although I just found out that half my family are away on holiday until the following Monday. So I was like, okay, guess I'll just celebrate then. You're on holiday. I'll be at home.
You can celebrate with us.
Well, normally I'm at Comic-Con on my birthday, so usually people don't have it booked in because I'm always away. But this happens to be the one year that I'm not going because I'm not not tabling or anything. So I was like, what am I going to do for my birthday now? Because I'm usually doing something, but this year I don't have anything planned. I'll probably just work. I'll just do
Your
some
birthday
drawing.
stream.
Stream something or play something. I'm all down for it.
I could do. Well, in fact, you're doing on the 27th. You're doing Mario Kart and stuff, aren't you? I think, Druid.
Well, that was the original plan, yeah.
Are you still doing that?
I have a thing I need to double check because it appears that my older sister's daughter is gonna potentially celebrate her birthday then
Ah,
by leaks, but I have not received an invitation, so I have no clue yet.
oh right, okay. Well,
But
at some point,
I'll come back to you on that.
well, I will look forward to playing some Mario Kart with you as and when you do get a hold of that.
I look forward to racing with you.
But yeah, maybe I'll do some streaming or something on my birthday as well. We'll see. It's a Sunday, so it's a funny day where I haven't got anything particularly planned. It's usually either D&D game. I could do a D&D session, I suppose. But we'll. I think I need a couple of weeks just to make sure that I get everything organised. Although I know a lot of what's going to happen in the next session is already written down, so at least that won't stress me out because I know it's already ready to go. And then the week after that, we'll probably get into the main part of the campaign that you can get your teeth into.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting indeed.